What is up, Friday Nighters? Welcome back to another episode of Just Another Friday Night. In fact, another Friday night.
Yeah.
In case you can't read the names at the bottom, this man right here, Adamantium Adam, we call him Double A, and I am CM Chuck. You can just call me CM if you like. Or just Chuck. I met a couple of new people this week.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was awesome, man.
Pretty cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah, guys, welcome to our podcast, pop culture podcast out of San Antonio, Texas, where we talk a little bit about everything from movies to TV to comic books,
music,
sports,
wrestling,
music,
basketball, football.
We just checked our numbers and saw some of our other episodes, how they did. Guys, if you know our format here, we kind of like to invite you guys to come join us.
Steve.
We'd like to invite you to join us. There we go. In the first, you got to show your glass there, Steve. Steve, Double A is drinking out like the mini schooner. Anthony Barrera in the house says, "What's up, fellas?" And Steve, cheers to you also, Steve.
I was waiting for you, Steve.
I got my Darth Vader koozie here, courtesy of Friday Nighter Keys. Yeah, guys, the way we do it here is we start up our live here on Facebook. Also, later on tonight, this will go out on Spotify, Anchor, iTunes, pretty much anywhere podcasts are available, and it'll also go up on YouTube unedited. What I say by that is because when we do the Facebook Live, every 30 minutes, we take a break, we read your comments, and invite you to join the conversation all night long while we're recording whatever it is that you want to talk about or specifically relating to our topic. But I cut that out for the audio show that goes on to Spotify and on iTunes and on Anchor and on Stream. What else is there? Breaker,
and, Podcast Addicts, Amazon,
iHeartRadio, audio, Amazon Music, Audible.
But YouTube is where you will see our uncut shit.
All the comments, everything is there. All the conversation. Sometimes we start like almost like little side conversations in the comment section. I just cut it out so that way the audio show is a little bit more tighter and it's more kind of streamlined to the subject. But both versions are excellent. I love it when you guys jump in and join the conversation. That's one of our favorite parts. Our last two episodes, we had some major guests in the house. We had our 1 year anniversary episode.
That was fun.
And we had your biggest bro, your oldest brother, one of my longtime, companions almost my whole life, like one of my very first friends, like my cousin, boy. And then from Toy Dojo, Jack was in the house. And then last week we had on the ever popular and ever great conversationalist, man, a personal hero of both of ours, the guy we call the number one comic book man in San Antonio, Mario Delgado of Authority Comics, was in the house. Last weekend was his second to the last weekend he had. Starting tomorrow morning, guys.
That's it.
This is over. The last 2 days. That's it. The snap end game for Mario. He will be leaving Traders Village and leaving pretty much selling comic books in a face-to-face basis. And
he said you can still reach him though through his personal Facebook page, and if I want to ask him about something, if you have like this comic or that, he'll let you know.
And he's going to do shows. So when shows come back, you'll be able to hopefully catch Mario at shows. I think we got Ekman's, Dell Ekman's show coming up.
Yeah, right now Celebrity Fan Fest is kind of teasing that there might be back up and running.
Interesting.
That's going to be fun if they do.
Everyone gets your shots. Maybe if it's
I'm going to be fully vaccinated next month.
Yeah, if it's one of those things where maybe you can show your shot card and like that makes the celebrity feel comfortable, then that's all good. I mean,
I was going to laminate mine.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Carry that shit everywhere.
That's not a bad idea. You know what I mean? Like if that makes a celebrity feel more comfortable and cons come back,
it probably won't. Honestly, it probably won't.
Mask up,
mask up, gloves, everything. They're probably not even going to want to shake hands with you anymore. So.
Yeah.
Expect that just in case.
And I'm used to like giving them a kiss on the cheek. So I guess that's out. You know what I mean? Let me read and see who's in the house right now. John Holty Bear, Friday Nighter Holty Bear, a former guest on the show.
Expert on Stephen King novels.
That's right. The man with the first editions in the house. What's up?
I loved your shirt yesterday, John.
Yeah. Steve says, rock on, bros. Rock on, Steve. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Jason,
what's up, man?
What's up, Jason? Jason from Hondo in the house. Jason, we heard a great story about you from Mario.
That was awesome.
Off the air, man. Really wonderful story, man. Hope to get to see you out there this weekend if we get out there. Anthony says, I'm in San Antonio right now for 3 weeks. Great, Anthony. That's awesome, man. We appreciate you being here watching us live right now. So that's really cool. Foxy Roxy, Friday Night Foxy Roxy in the house. She says, hi, guys. And Steve says, nice, just like MK's. That's what I was telling him. MK Davis has got those going on. And then Steve says, show your shot card and get a shot. Hey, I like that too.
I will. When we do that April 9th episode, I will do that.
Nice.
I will certainly do that.
I think that I had heard Krispy Kreme will give you a donut a day if you have your vaccination. So One free donut a day, not too shabby, right?
It's too bad I don't like donuts.
Very cool, very cool. Anthony says, what's there to do out here in San Antonio? Well, Anthony, I can tell you, since you're bringing it up, there's going to be a great event on Sunday at the Bang Bang Bar. One of our Friday nighters is put something together out there. There's going to be some vendors out there, kind of like an outdoor market in their parking lot from 12 to 4. The Bang Bang Bar is on El Mio Road off of San Pedro. Go out there and hang out, drink some booze there, check it out. Other than that, I don't know what's going on tonight or tomorrow. We're podcasting tonight, doing the Friday night.
If you like rock, Bond's Rock Bar,
great. Oh yeah, and then El Luchador Bar tomorrow off of Roosevelt. They'll have karaoke tomorrow starting at 10. Always great there. They got wrestling on in the background, man. A wall full of wrestling.
Maybe mention us and see what happens.
Yeah. You can see our sticker in the bathroom too, right when you're taking a leak. So there you go.
Jesse knows us.
Yep. Talk to Jesse and Billy out there over there. And if you want coffee in the morning, hit up Tandem. That's look it up, Tandem. You can go get coffee and beer there. But at the same time, one or both. They're always having great events too. They've got sometimes some live music out there. They did like a giant sized trash can beer pong last week, and Billy told me him and Jesse won. They were I said, kind of rigged, don't you think?
Nice.
Yeah, what's up with that, Billy? So,
man. Those two are quite a team right there.
There's some places right there. Look them up and check them out, Anthony. Bond's Rock Bar, Luchador,
Sunday,
Tandem,
Bang Bang Bar.
And Sunday, the Bang Bang Bar, for sure, man. Steve says, check. How did you like that bullet whiskey? Man, very strong, Steve. They had two kinds. They had just regular bourbon. And the girl that was there gave me a whole education. Then they had also a rye whiskey. I didn't know there was a difference. Regular whiskey made with wheat, the other one made with rye. I tried both, and I was nursing a hangover all day. So
which one did you prefer, though, the rye or the bourbon?
The regular, like the bourbon. The regular
one.
Yeah, the other one has kind of like a more like a spicy taste. Like it kind of hits you in the front of your tongue, whatever. The other one kind of has like a slower burn.
Really?
Like, kind of tastes like what you're used to whiskey. But it was very good, much smoother than like say a Jack Daniels. I really did enjoy it. I would suggest someone buy a bottle. So
not that 100% proof that John bought. Man.
And then Anthony says, crazy.
Y'all are crazy. Hopefully I get to meet y'all.
And Nene. Totally, dude. Nene's all about meeting his fans, man. So yeah, that would be really rad. Let us know where you're planning to be out at, man. Maybe we'll catch up. Like I said, I will definitely be at the Bang Bang Bar on Sunday for sure. That's one of the places that you will find me from.
CM here will be a vendor, so check him out.
My lady will be doing the vending stuff, but I'll be there helping.
Our designer of our logo will be there, so
you get to see some more of her great artwork. Let me tell you guys, tonight on her Instagram, we're going to release a piece that she worked on specifically for this show, and let me tell you, Double A, it is going to blow your hair back. It is fucking premiere, man. She was sending me pictures of it last night, and I was like, holy shit, I love this piece, babe. Like one of your best pieces. It's really, really cool. Very unique. So guys, be waiting for that tonight. Check her out on Instagram, trinket_truck. That is just TRINKET_truck. And guys, another thing is anybody out there? I talked to my good friend Bobby over at Toy Matrix. This is the shop that has a lot of the really rad shirts
on 15th Street.
On 15th Street, and right across from Mario. And it's run by Gary. Gary does all the great t-shirt setups at the old cons, whatever. So what Bobby told me was that there were some people that came in, and I don't know if it was one person or a couple of people, but that came in and asked, did they carry Just Another Friday Night shirts? Well, they do not carry those shirts because we haven't made any additional shirts. But pretty exciting. If you were one of the people that asked for shirts, ask us now, because we're about to do an order. We're going to order size medium to extra large. And we're going to have a small run and see how they do. They're going to be $20 a piece. We're letting you guys know up front, and everything that's going to come out of that is going to go right back into the show, because we really want to buy a much better webcam, maybe one that would allow us to zoom on the backgrounds and things like that, or maybe it will turn and face each other. I don't know, but just get a sharper picture in general. Sometimes we have stuff back here and maybe you get a better image of it on a better webcam. The laptop that we use has a little bit of an older webcam. So that's one of the first things we want to buy is a new webcam. And again, everything that we earn off, it's going to go right back into getting the show equipment, better mics, all that stuff. Joe Rogan has those nice like mics that sit down right here or whatever. Let's see who else in there.
John corrects me and says not 100, 120 proof.
And
I made that worse when I put cherry bombs in mine.
There you go.
A lot worse. Anthony says Juan Villarreal supposed to be at the Rock Bar. He's a comedian from Houston.
I think I may have heard that. Rock
Comedian
bar.
at a bar.
Yeah, right on, man. That's cool. Check it out. And we got our good friend who does all the book pressing for Mario Delgado, Gabe Flores. Says, sell me your books. And what's up, guys? What's up, Gabe? Man, great customer service this past weekend from Gabe. Man.
I finally met Gabe myself too. Awesome stuff. I wouldn't mind having you on the show, Gabe, and tell us your business, because that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
he does.
Really cool. So, and give us the intricacies and the details of that. And maybe if you can even give us
really
some
interesting to me.
Dude, Mario was I loved seeing Mario so busy last weekend. We'll get right into that. Yeah. The store he had 2 extra guys helping him, Gabe and another gentleman. I didn't get to really meet him, but that shop's got pretty much like 3 sides. All 3 were full. People were in there, man. The number one, Trader Joe's was packed to the gills.
It was.
You know what I mean?
Holy shit! Everyone was spending that stimulus money.
Very stimulated.
Shit.
So I got to visit with Mario briefly, like we always do, and I got some cool stuff I want to show you guys. But I mainly was working with Gabe, and man, superior customer service, my friend. I really enjoyed our conversation and talking with you. So yeah, you heard it here first, man. Double A says it'd be great to have you on. I agree.
That's very interesting to me. Yeah, that's a very interesting topic.
And he did ask me then and there about Fantastic Four number 48. So
okay. Sorry, Gabe.
I said I've been trying to. I love that book. Let's see. Steve says, have y'all been to the Aqueduct on the south side? I need a XXL. Okay, Steve, I will put in a special order for that for the 2X. I did not know that.
Yes, I have been to Aqueduct. Aqueduct is a great place to be. It's very nice, especially when the weather's nice.
Yeah, I love it there too.
Great place to be.
Yeah,
that's where my great grandma used to live for a long, long time. So it's a nice, special, quiet place to me. So
maybe we can twist Double A's arm, get him out there to meet up with us, Steve.
Hit me up after April 8th.
Okay. Yeah,
when I get on
the shot. Yeah. I need to get mine too. I'm waiting. I'm on the list, but I haven't gotten any buzzes yet. So I'm waiting. I don't know how everyone else has been able
I don't know, man. Some people at work have been able to get it.
Yeah.
So hopefully you get it too, man.
If I get it, if I get an appointment, I'd give it to my mom first, because she's turning 65 Saturday. So happy early birthday, Mom. Tomorrow, the big 6'5". I know she hates probably me saying her age, but Mom, I love you, and you're the best mom. And we had beer at La Tuna yesterday. Just
that was nice.
She drank soda pop. She don't.
That was a great pick.
But my mom, me and her we went to Aqueduct together. Excuse me, Steve, and we saw Los Escorpiones out there. That's one of the bands she likes. She likes a lot of. I don't know if you call them Tejano or Conjunto. I think they might be a Conjunto band, but my mom loves that stuff. So when they have live music out there, the Aqueduct is perfect because it's outdoors and it's nice. The weather's been perfect for that. So after April 8th, Steve, we'll hit up the man right here and get him drug out there. Let's see what else we got in here. Yes, I do.
Steve says he wants
XXL cake. Awesome. Yeah. See, we'll have to put that order in separate.
John, good buddy. John says he wants one medium.
There we go. Holtzberg says one in the medium. And guys, these are going to be light colored t-shirts. They're not going to be black. They're going to be multiple colors. There'll probably be like white, gray, and I don't know what the other color will be. Nice. It might be red. Nice. It'll probably be those 3 colors, and it'll be one single logo. Our logo that says Just Another Friday Night has the mic on there, like the half mic, doesn't have the whole stand. That'll be probably what's on there. And just one logo in the front, in the center. So that's how it's gonna how they'll look. And we haven't put that order in yet, but I'll put it in, and I'll put it in we'll put it for the 2X. So anyone else want sizes? Tell me now, because I'm gonna put them in. And again, guys, $20. I won't upcharge for the XXL like some people do that. They do that. And again, everything goes back into the podcast too, guys. And also, if you ever go to anchor.fm, which is like kind of the hosting side of our show, it's not StreamYard. StreamYard just helps us with this broadcast, but anchor.fm, if you ever want to become a contributor, we would never ask you for that, but if you did want to help the show, I contribute to our own show. I do $10 a month, but there's also a $5 tier, and there's I think a $1 tier. I think those are the 2 tiers, because
I think so. There's 3 of them.
Our man Aaron B, he does I think the $5 tier a month, so that helps us out. It's a little again, we literally took that money out. We're going to use the money to buy shirts. What we make from the shirts, we're going to use to buy a webcam, so we can have a better camera here, and then eventually, like I said, better mics, more merchandise. We can get you guys more merch. I wish I was going to have this run of merch for Sunday at the Bang Bang Bar. I will not, but hopefully the event's successful for Foxy Roxy. And then
speaking of merch, our bottle openers, CM already put an order in, so those who got it will be getting there soon.
If you saw our 1-year episode and Jack said that to you, Jack,
he already paid for it.
Jack took care of it.
Orders in.
They're in. So there you go. let's see. Anthony says, happy early birthday to your mom. Thank you, sir, for that. I appreciate that.
He also says y'all should go check out Juan Villarreal on Saturday at the Rock Bar. He's hilarious.
I got to look up that Rock Bar. You know where that's at, Double A?
No.
I'm not familiar with the Rock Bar, but okay, well, yeah, definitely check it out and look it up. I feel like I've heard that before. I follow a comedy site, so maybe. But I would definitely like to do that. Steve says, thank you, guys. Steve says, great. Okay, we'll try.
Got it.
Just
got it
Double A's got it here. And then you will donate. Steve, I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link and check it out. If you want to do that, that would be greatly appreciated. Steve, we really would appreciate that. Double A, adrenalize me. Let's get right into our pickups from Authority Comics, guys, because this weekend is the last weekend. Mario's going to be cutting deals. Go out there, meet the man, meet a San Antonio icon on the weekend that he's about to leave, and get yourself something really, really kick-ass special. Maybe your mom's gonna have a birthday and you want to get her,
or just your kids. Man, they got a lot of great. He's got a lot of great stuff there.
Look, there's nothing that girlfriends, wives, and moms like better than slabbed comic books and statues of comic book characters. Yeah, so you cannot go wrong. That's what my mom's getting. You think she's gonna get something like flowers and chocolate? No way, mom. You're getting slabbed comic books and statues. So. Double A, what did you grab from the man?
So for Mario, I went specifically for these two. Yellow Jacket
there he
statue.
Is.
All right, another one of Hank Pym's alter egos. But have you seen Ant-Man? He was actually the villain.
I believe so.
That's Yellow Jacket.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because my memory on Ant-Man is a little blurry right now on the first two, but in the second one.
Second one was that
Ghost
female.
But in part one, it was the yellow. Okay.
But it was Yellow Jacket, the partner, the prodigy.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, and it looked cool. They did a great job.
You see that, his little the Yellow Jacket.
The Yellow Jacket right there. Yeah.
So
that's a great.
They're metal. They're really metal. The tips are metal. So it's a cool little bust. And then this one for you guys that might not be familiar. This is Doc Sampson. If you're a big fan of the Hulk mythos. He is a key figure in the Hulk lore. All right. He's the one that kind of goes deep down into Hulk psychology, kind of deals with, the abusive father that Bruce had.
Right.
He's gamma radiated too. The long hair, just like the namesake, is like the longer it gets, the stronger he gets, the shorter it does, the weaker he gets. But right up there with your powerhouses of like Thing, Rhino, fought Hulk for like 6 hours.
Yeah,
one time. Fought Hercules, Submariner, Iron Man, all at the same time.
He's mixed it up with the bigs.
Yeah, so Doc Sampson is not someone to fuck with.
Yeah.
Read him, check him out in the Hulk comics. He's a really badass character.
That one's really heavy. I was holding it up, and it's got some the muscles and the definition, everything looks really great on this.
That's Doc Sampson. Look him up. He's a really badass character, a really powerhouse in the Marvel universe. They show him his character in the Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton.
Really?
But they got that tie, something for Modern Family, which I didn't think was a good casting choice.
I didn't realize
he's the one that's dating Betty.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So
okay.
I was kind of like,
Interesting. See, that would have been a good introduction for that character to eventually come out in the whole movies had they have done that.
And then this wasn't for Mario's, but I couldn't pass this up. You guys know I'm a huge Green Lantern fan, so I got this really cool Sinestro for just like a couple of dollars. Not too bad.
Nice.
So I just like to see
good.
It looks cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty damn cool.
In the yellow.
Yeah,
in the yellow uniform. A few more comments here rolling in. Steve says, "Okay, please do on the link. We'll do." Our good buddy Rich is in the house. What's up, guys? What's up, Rich? Appreciate you being here, man.
Steve says Herculoids.
Herculoids. There you go. And then Anthony says that's pretty cool. I love this comment. You want to go ahead?
Our cousin Ali says, "Hi, not to sound uncultured, but Charlie,
never.
What's on your shirt? It looks like ceviche, which I stand, but I'm sure it's not." No, it's not, Ali.
It is not. And it goes right into our topic. It's also this picture back here behind you.
Yeah,
in a minute,
you can see
I'll stand up and show you in the light, Ali. So stay tuned. I'll show you right before we go right into the topic. But I'll definitely show you. It is not ceviche, but I wish I had a ceviche shirt.
I know Yelly's ceviche is fucking great.
Our cousin Let in the house says, "Hi, handsome cousins. Hi, beautiful Let."
Joe says, guys having JAFN withdrawals, but baseball duty. So,
hey, man.
It's all right, Joe.
Joe, you know what? You can always get the uncut version on YouTube.
Yep.
And if you're new out there, like maybe Anthony, you haven't already, please go subscribe to us on YouTube. Just search Just Another Friday Night. We're only at 40 subscribers, guys. We're kind of stuck. We want to get up to 100 because when we do, then we can change our name and it'll be youtube.com/Just Another Friday Night or youtube.com/JAFN podcast. We're going to see what's not taken. But right now it's just youtube.com/a bunch of gobbledygook. So it doesn't make, I can't even tell you where we're at, and I can't show you the link to that. But if you help us get up to 100, then I can do that. But if you're looking for us anywhere else, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, you can find us right here at JAFN Podcast. That's where we are. And we want to make that either maybe part of our YouTube name as well, or spelled out Just Another Friday Night. But until then, you can just go to YouTube and search Just Another Friday Night. Look for our logo, the logo that was on our bottle opener. And when you find that, it's in white with red, the red design on there. When you find that, you can go click on it and hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell for notifications. We'd greatly appreciate that because then you'll be helping us get up to that 100. So let me show you what I got. I got this from my lady.
That was super cool. I love this.
Mario had this up on his wall in the slabbed books, a slabbed copy of Creepy with an autograph on there.
That's awesome. By the cover artist.
And I got educated from Gabe, who actually told me that it's in green because it's not a verified signature. This means that this is CGC graded, and that means that they went ahead and graded it, even though it has a signature, but they're letting you know it wasn't verified by them. So some of the writing,
it's still not too bad though for a 9.8. So I mean, that's pretty cool that they still graded it that high.
And looks really cool, right, guys? Because my girlfriend loves the horror and the horror comics. So yeah, I'll look at the back here.
That's nice.
Great image on the back. So I got this for her. So this is her first slab book she's ever had. And Mario gave me a great deal. White pages. It says here, and then
it gives you the author's names, the artist names. What else? Like maybe little details here and there. So.
Yeah, it tells you who the back cover artist is. And Double A pointed out that some of the stories within are by Peter David, very famous Hulk writer. We just read his Maestro story. We were reading it. So. That was what I got. One of the things I got, and the other thing I got, which I'll unbox here for you guys.
That's fucking cool.
This really beautiful Wonder Woman statue.
That's really great.
There's a couple of statues that sit right behind, like where Mario reads you out at, and I had been eyeballing what I want, and it was running pretty low, guys. A lot of the statues were already gone, but I was like, man, I gotta walk away with one of those after all this time. So here you're seeing it live with me here. This one up on our shelf.
Very
my
nice.
house. So, yeah. And look at this here. Oh yeah, she's looking awesome right there. You see that though?
The lasso.
Yeah, kind of on. I think she's kind of like changing.
Yeah. I was gonna say it looks like she's coming out of her suit.
She's got the shades in her hand. Sorry, we've got the white bright light on there. I don't know if we can get it a little bit closer, but she's kind of changing out of her Diana outfit into the right into the Wonder Woman suit. So very cool. Wonder Woman, clearly one of the big three of DC, and I was like, hey, it's gonna look good. I have a Wolverine, little Wolverine.
That
bust.
Wolverine is sweet.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put this one right up there with it because we're not really statue buyers, right?
No, we're not.
We just couldn't pass up.
Very expensive hobby. And we're just really buying it because Mario's putting them at a lower than normal price.
He's taking care of us, and we're trying to take care of him back. And you guys could go to. I mean, plus too, we're getting an opportunity to have something that we probably otherwise wouldn't have.
Yeah,
and enjoy that.
Like seriously, the Vampirella I got. I mean, it was like everyone likes that one out of my whole collection. Really premiere on the Vampirella. Guys, I think we're getting. Oh no, we're still pretty good. All right. What other news? Yeah, Suicide Squad. The trailer popped out.
You guys saw me post that. How good did that look, Double A? I was like, okay, I'm back on board.
James Gunn, man. James Gunn.
If anybody can get it right, it's him. I was really love the King Shark shit. Now is that? No, that's.
Don't ask me.
Okay, I don't know who the voice is, but I think the voice on the video game that's going to come out, that's also going to be called Suicide Squad, is Samoa Joe. He's going to be the voice, but I don't think he's the voice in the movie, but he's going to be the voice in the game of. That's right, Joe of King Shark. And I always bring it up, but the very fucking hilarious Harley Quinn cartoon, the comedian Ron Funches is the voice of King Shark in that show. hilarious character. They made him look cool, right? You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
got Cena there in the movie trailer, and Idris Elba. Obviously, Margot Robbie's back as Harley, and she looks amazing. So you can't go wrong with that. But it looks like it could have some legs. You know what I mean? I'll check it out. Will you check it out?
Yeah. I saw the first one, so I might as well see this one too.
My sister likes the first one. She's like, no, it was like a cool story.
It's fine.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, second episode today. I'm caught up. Double A needs to catch up.
I need to catch
no spoilers, guys. But I can tell you right now, it's totally Marvel Studios, and it is fucking good and worth it, and it's just good. So check it out.
The big piece of news that I was excited about was Pierce Brosnan being cast as Dr. Fate.
That's right. Very cool.
I love Dr. Fate. He is one of the coolest characters, but also one of the coolest looking characters. So, man, that's going to be super sweet. Yeah. Pierce Brosnan going up against, Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. That's
he's going to be in that movie.
Yeah,
in the Black Adam movie. Okay,
Yeah, so
very nice.
That's going to be fucking cool.
Are they primary like?
No, they're not. Okay. Not really. Not too much. Okay. So that's kind of it's weird. But
so the Rock Black Adam movie, Double A, is going to be like, it's kind of like, in a sense, a villain people don't really know being the main guy. Like
and that sucks because people shouldn't know about him. He's just, man, he's an absolute badass.
But what a bold move, right? To give a kind of you could say an unknown villain. He's the main one. He's not up against Shazam. I
think what it is that I think they're really betting on Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Right.
Well, yeah.
I think they're really banking on him having eyes on him, so
like whatever he's in, we'll go see it.
I just hope he does it right. Because man, I love the character. The character is a really deep character.
Yeah,
so
you're always
I'm just hoping he does it right.
I mean, I'm looking forward to that too. It'd be cool. It'd be great if we got a good trailer.
Man, that dude is badass. Black Adam he's right up there with Darkseid if they actually wrote him right.
And I think he should be considered in that.
Yeah, because
we talk about their bad guys not being that good, but he's
honestly, him versus Superman, it should be a no contest. It really should be Black Adam, and I only say that because his body's magic,
right?
You know, and that's the only reason why I say that. But he should be able to take out Superman, real easy.
We know that's his
those punches should really hurt when he punches Superman. So
definitely. So that's something that I'll look forward to. Let's get into a few more comments here, guys.
Anthony says, "Wow, I bet that's worth a lot. Your slab issue."
I don't know.
It probably is. It probably is.
We usually buy stuff for our own, personal collections. We don't really buy
the slab issue. I'm sure it
sell, but Allie says she'll stay tuned. Thanks, Allie.
Jason says looks badass, bro.
Yes, thank you.
Richard says those are awesome items y'all picked up. Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, man.
Let asked, am I drinking wine? No, I'm not drinking wine. I'm drinking beer.
He's drinking beer in like a goblet looking glass.
If wine's a lot stronger, so I probably wouldn't make it too far in this. Rich says, did y'all watch the Justice League movie? I've only seen hour one, so I'm like at part 3, I believe. We're gonna dig deep into this movie in the future episode. Right now, hour 1, I'm not too impressed.
Yeah, I have one viewing under my belt, Rich, which I watched on my phone, so not the greatest viewing, but I wanted to watch it before spoilers got out. I'm glad I did. So I did see it all the way through one time, but again on phone, kind of like while doing stuff. Like I said, when I'm trying to avoid spoilers, I'll start watching a show in the morning while I'm brushing my teeth, getting ready for work, and I'm watching and I'm getting dressed, and I'm watching it. So, so it's not the best viewing, but I do have one full viewing under my belt. I do consider I saw it beginning to end, but I am going to do a viewing before we do our episode on it. I'm going to watch it in full on my TV, hopefully uninterrupted. I personally loved it. I really couldn't wait to hear this guy's opinion. So having already heard his opinion of hour one, I'm looking forward to his full review. And then even then, if we end up being on opposite sides of the fence, we both don't care for the first one.
It's weird, Richard, because like I told TM, I like Henry Cavill Superman. I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I like Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa. So I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. Let me read the last of these comments if we can.
Steve says, how is Mario's stock? Is it pretty much depleted? It's
Steve, depending on what you're willing to spend, he's got some really nice stuff out there, man. Depending. I think he does have some more bigger ticket items out there, but I have no doubt he'll be willing to cut you a deal, especially if you tell him you're friends of the Just Another Friday Night podcast and tell him you saw him on there, and he'll probably cut you an even better deal. But I don't know if you've ever collected any kind of big statues like that, Steve, but man, something like that would just be a great conversation piece in your house anywhere. It look great. He's got some really classic items. Conan one we saw.
Creepy and Uncle Eerie.
Yeah, a Zorro. He's got a great Zorro out there from the Zorro movie.
Yeah.
It is huge and badass.
Yeah.
Guys, we're nearing up the first 30-minute mark, so let's take a quick break for the audio listeners. We'll come right back and we'll get right into the topic, guys. We appreciate that. Guys, if you're joining us on Facebook Live, you know that we don't go anywhere. We're staying right here with you live, but we say that we're going to take a break for our audio listeners because afterwards, when this goes out on audio, there's little breaks every 30 minutes.
Yeah, and it's actually a good break. So Richard is saying, I don't know too much about Black Adam. Is he a strong superhero? So first off, he's like a villain, Captain Marvel villain. He's like, his outfit's almost like Captain Marvel, but it's black. He is super strong. He is should be one of the strongest villains in DC. Easy.
What's it with him and the Egyptian thing? He's supposed
to
be,
he was an Egyptian prince.
Egyptian. Okay.
And Shazam,
the
wizard Shazam granted him because he thought he was noble. Of course, the powers start corrupting Black Adam. He starts abusing him, blah, blah, blah. Shazam, banishes him to like the furthest reaches of space. And it takes him like 10,000 years for him to come back to Earth. Yeah. And by that point, he already has Captain Marvel. But man, he is one strong son of a bitch. I think he can go toe to toe with Darkseid pretty easy.
Nice.
With Superman, he's just a really strong anti-hero now. Jeff Johns kind of took a hold of him. He grabbed him. He kind of made him this anti-hero, and he kind of got popular like in the late 2000s again because of Jeff Johns. So I'm excited. I got a few stories of Black Adam here. I love the dude. He's just super awesome. I think you guys will like him too. Hopefully Dwayne Johnson does it right. So
did they touch on him at all in the Justice League Unlimited cartoon? Do you know?
Yes, they did. Yeah, okay, good episode.
Okay. I sometimes feel as though the cartoons, now they're all on HBO Max, are like a really palatable way to like get a story in. Like if you wanted to know about, Mr. Freeze, you could go check out, Heart of Ice on the animated series.
Talk about him in Shazam.
A little bit of a mention, right? Okay, I was wondering, and anyone out there that maybe is a fan of the DC movies, let us know if there's a one that maybe touches on or works with Black Adam, because sometimes those are kind of like more palatable too. Like it's hard sometimes to go back and find old books.
I think it's the Captain Marvel Superman cartoon. Okay, and you see Black Adam in that one. Nice. So if you guys have HBO Max, that one's on there, and I actually have that DVD somewhere too. So yeah. Richard says, I've seen it, not impressed with the Justice League.
You might be the first one I've heard say that, cool. Rich.
So and then he says he'll keep his comments to yourself. Keep them to yourself this week, but I want to hear your comments still next week. When we do it.
We're going to go into it. We're going to do it next week. So reveal here. We never reveal early.
I know, but get all your questions ready, everything, Rich. I might be with you on this one. So Steve says, cool. Thanks, guys. Mm-hmm. Gabe says more stuff coming this weekend that wasn't out there last weekend.
There we go. Yeah, Gabe, we're both like I said, I got my mom's birthday tomorrow, and then Double A's got stuff Sunday. I've got an event Sunday, but we do want to try to make our way out there to see Mario.
We're gonna go
probably tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. So
like if we can get there right when y'all open at 9, it would be there for an hour maybe, and then we can blaze out. So maybe I'll get this guy up early for tacos, and then we'll go together and get in and out.
Saw me already.
My old man will probably go too. He's been wanting to go out there and see Mario.
Richard says, "Oh, okay. Why not much talk on him? Is he like Darkseid?" Well, see, that's the thing though. So it's kind of like Captain Marvel was from Fawcett Comics. He was seen as a rip off of Superman. When DC, they sued him, they won, and they kind of buried the whole Captain Marvel like myths, everything. They buried them. Yeah, they didn't really revitalize them again until like the 70s, and then even after that, it was still kind of like mum on Black Adam. Really, it wasn't like a whole bunch of talk. It wasn't until Jeff Johns, like I say, grabbed a hold of him in the 2000s in the 52 series, his own series with that really cool Alex Ross cover, that you started kind of hearing more about. And
it's so crazy, right? Double A, how we hear about how DC was, where it was almost like what you heard about Hulk Hogan in WWE, where it was like, no, this is the guy. So like, you pretty much can't lose. Yeah. So that's how they treated. Well, and I guess you could say Vince followed the DC model because they were first, but it was like, that's what with Superman. It was like, there could be no one else up on that tier. Cause it was like, this is our guy. Yeah. There's no way we're going to even, they didn't realize how you kind of hurt the character that way by not offering more. opponents in a sense.
And they've done this like so many times with like heavyweight champions from other organizations. They kind of bump them down to like the IC level,
right?
Where they were like, what the hell? This guy was like an NWA champion. This guy was an AWA champion. What the hell are you doing?
We always talk about guys like, a Ravishing Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect.
Which became a champion in WCW afterwards.
Can you imagine if they would have had championship matches? Number one, they would have made a great, not even stable of villains, but a grouping of villains. Like imagine there being multiple bad guys to go against. And that's exactly what they should have done with Black Adam.
And Rich, I think that's what happened here. I think they just buried Captain Marvel. They made him cheesy as fuck. And Black Adam was just kind of buried too. And it wasn't until Jeff Johns came along and was like, hey man, we got another like really badass villain that we could use. Why not use him?
No.
He doesn't have to be kept in the Captain Marvel comics. He can be used as a DC villain.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, and I always kind of saw I think a very striking looking character, and I think maybe viewed him as kind of like an anti Shazam, their version of Captain Marvel. But so much more to that character. Aaron's in the house. Aaron says, "What up, boys? What up, Aaron B? Great seeing you yesterday, man. And great seeing your brother Charlie. Thank you for your service, Charlie. We appreciate you, man. Good catching up with you, my friend. Serving in the United States Navy. Mom, I think you posted like a little picture thing on this app. We can't see it, Mom, but I did wish you a happy birthday early as well. Did some of the Friday Night Faithful here wish you a happy birthday, Mom. So happy birthday, and I'll see you in a little bit." Rich says,
why did they change the Captain Marvel to Shazam? Is it because of Marvel and that character? Yes, it was. For some reason, DC didn't buy the rights. So then when Marvel had their own Captain Marvel, they sued DC and said you can't use that name.
Right.
So they changed it to Shazam.
I think he's back though now, right? Isn't he back?
Kind of. It's still Shazam. Yeah, so, like they can use him like as his name, but they can't really I guess comic books. You can't say Captain Marvel.
Right. Okay.
Which sucks because he's a lot better than Marvel's Captain Marvel. And I mean that like all of them, not just Carol. I mean like even the first Captain Marvel. Yeah. That dude blew.
And Shazam was the name of the wizard that granted him the powers, Rich, and then that was also the word that he would have to say in order to change,
And he goes, Shazam. I don't know why Shazam and Black Adam don't get talk like Superman if they are that powerful. I don't know either. I wish they would.
Again, it's one of those things where it's like you have this guys at the top and you don't want anyone to kind of rival that.
Kingdom Come is like the only kind of book that actually showcased Captain Marvel.
Great.
That he can stand toe to toe with Superman. And that he's dangerous.
Right. Very dangerous.
Like a lot of the heroes are in Kingdom Come are like super afraid of Captain Marvel. They're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like Lex Luthor has this guy. Like, holy shit,
And Rich says happy birthday to Mom. Happy birthday. Thank you, Rich, for that to my mom. Guys, I think we're ready to get right into the conversation. And for Allie, who's been hanging out, being patient, then we'll let her know. So give me a second here and I'll bring us right back onto the audio right now. Thanks for hanging out, guys. If you're listening to us on the audio version, you know that right then I do a little commercial, but you also have the opportunity every Friday night, if you're free, to join us on Facebook Live. We go live on Facebook and we answer comments during the little breaks while Anchor has to upload our episode
on YouTube.
You hear all the conversation on YouTube. We had a great conversation right now about Captain Marvel, the DC version, Black Adam, Shazam. So check that out on YouTube and hit subscribe. But if you're just listening on audio, you missed that little part. But the full thing is there on YouTube and it's here on Facebook Live. That's just for the people that are joining us live and want to join the conversation. We totally welcome that. And every 30 minutes, we take a break. We read comments and we talk about all that stuff. Double A, one more thing before we get into this. Can you hand me the book there? I wanted to show the book.
Yes.
I picked up a book, guys, and I posted a picture earlier. That was me writing that one. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Double A doing our Instagram. But picked up this great story. We're talking about Superman a little bit, but it's just called Superman Up in the Sky
by Tom King and Andy Kubert.
Excellent art, guys. Andy Kubert is astonishing. Me and Double A have this. This is my guy, right? There's a reason why I rock the Superman all the time.
I got him over there too.
Yep.
Right there.
Yeah, we both love Soup, but there's a reason, why we often say it sucks that they kind of you can't really do them right or whatever. I think this was a 6-part miniseries. It was a 6-issue miniseries, whatever. It's a really great story about a little girl that gets kidnapped, but by aliens amidst really horrible circumstances. And Batman, pretty much tells Superman to go off world and get her. And you get a really, really well-written Superman story that makes you love Superman, more if that's even possible. And you get, also more insight into what we would say maybe one of the powers of Superman that people don't really mention. And here it is. It's like, the guy is durable as hell. You know what I mean? He's tough as an old fucking Nokia phone or whatever. You know what I mean? You could drop him in water. You can fucking kick him across the street, car can run over it like a brick, right? That's one of Superman's powers and qualities that people don't really get about him. And that's what makes him so formidable oftentimes. He might not be the strongest in the fight. It's rare, but he might not be. He might not even be the fastest, in certain situations. Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? The guy doesn't quit. It's a really, really fun story. I found it because of one image. I'll try to show it to you guys real quick. One image, I saw it on Instagram. It caught my attention. It caught my eye, and I liked that so much that I looked up what book it was from. This happens to me sometimes. I see an image on Instagram, and I want to know what book does that come from.
Yeah.
And once I find it, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to see it. So I looked it up on Amazon. The book, I got a hardcover right here for like $20, like $22.
That's not bad.
Let me show you all the hardcovers. Sometimes I'll take the book jacket off for y'all.
That's not
it's
bad.
not my favorite underneath, but it's
pretty cool. I like the way he's drawn there.
Yeah, it's glossy.
Oh, the back one too. He looks he's really fucked up in the back.
Yeah. So check that out right there, and then check it out right here on the back.
He really fucked up on
there, right? So you're like wondering what's going on, right? Let me show you guys this image that I love so much that I just got it. And it's oftentimes stuff like this. And guys, this book has a little bit of everything in there. So if you check it, it's got some Batman in there.
It's really cool. Yeah,
Sergeant Rock, Darkseid comes out, Lex, Lois. I mean, like, you kind of see Superman, having some of the thoughts, like almost like what people love about like Peter Parker and stuff. It's kind of like a normal kid or whatever, and he has, but it's
you kind of want to see that side of Superman, right?
Yeah,
kind of like not always almighty, kind of like human.
Yeah,
a little bit,
You know what? That's a great way of putting it, Double. Right. It really makes him human in this book, and I think that's what helps. And this is the image right here that got me to fall in love. If you see it right here on this side, that's what Superman doing there. He's eating lunch. He's eating lunch with Batman and Wonder Woman. They're eating burgers and fries. They're sitting on the edge of the building. And he's floating, and I just love it so much. And let me just read you guys what it says. It says. Let me start here. It says, you have lunch with old friends. You joke, you laugh, you talk about old days. You ask them about their worries and their cares and their families and their kids. It says, you ask them why you still dress up. You laugh some more. You make plans to see each other again. You will see each other again. Like, it's like, here's the most powerful superheroes maybe in any universe, and they're just being normal. And I always love that. I used to love
they're having burgers and fries.
Yeah, I used to love AA when the X-Men would be having a barbecue or playing basketball.
Yeah,
I
no powers.
Yeah, they're just hanging out. Like I kind of humanize them, I guess, and it's just something about that to me that makes me so interested. So I super love that, but I highly suggest it. I'm telling AA here to read it. Superman Up in the Sky.
I'm going to check it out. I'm going to see if Heroes or someone has it.
I wouldn't mind getting this. The single issue covers are beautiful. Again,
are they?
Andy Kubert,
okay.
Man can really draw his ass off.
Okay.
And he's got that style that it's him. So really great story and a fun story too that I enjoyed and a deep story. You know what I mean? So great. I love when I can find a random Superman book like that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And speaking of which, I have another one that I'm waiting to read that it's there at my house. It's still wrapped up. I want to read it, but it's Superman and Shazam together. It's called First Thunder.
Nice.
It's a very interesting concept. I read about it, so I want to read that one next time.
CMG, my guy who kind of like leads me to Superman. He's the one that kind of led me to that Green Lantern issue. So nice. I'll probably check this one out too. It looks cool. It really looks cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah, very cool. I love soup, so that's
I always like a good Superman story. If you can find me a good Superman story, I will fucking buy it.
Yeah, so. He just needs the right people to be doing it. It can't be the people that were too long on a run. Yeah, so I'm waiting to read some of the Bendis stuff. But guys, without further ado, and for cousin Allie, who if she's still watching and wondering, what about the ceviche shirt?
The ceviche, that's fucking weird,
guys. It's a long time coming. It's done now.
Yeah, we've kind of waited a few weeks.
We wanted everyone to watch it. We had heard some people say we want to binge it all at once. And you know what, guys? I watched every episode twice, and then this last 2 days, I watched the entire thing again, and it was so fast. It was like maybe like a 5-hour movie or something.
It is, yeah.
Because the episodes are like 45 minutes, guys. But this is the first thing we got since COVID from Marvel Studios. It came out in a wrong order. It wasn't supposed to be. Falcon and the Winter Soldier first, and then there was, I think, supposed to be a movie, and then Black Widow and then WandaVision. But instead, COVID being what it was, the first thing we got was WandaVision. And guys, let me tell you, it left me in AA with Rowdy Scarlet Fever.
Yeah.
Great title from my man Double A right here. I love it.
Yeah,
Guys.
so it was like after Mandalorian, me and CM were like, "Oh fuck, what are we gonna do now?" And WandaVision came in, and
you see Grogu leave with Luke, and you're like, nothing will ever be better than this in all of my life. And then WandaVision comes out of the gate, and you're like, holy shit, like this is impressive.
It made us like two heroes that we never really gave a shit about. We appreciate them a whole lot more after this.
And again, guys, after my just recent viewing, just in the last 2 days, again, because it's a super fast watch now that it's all out. And let me show my shirt to Allie.
It's a great shirt. I love
this shirt. It's a famous cover.
Allie. It is. It's by Joe Quesada.
Down here, that is the Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff.
And that moment right there is pretty much like she's losing her mind. She's snapping in the comics, in the House of M storyline.
Yeah, that's from an
alternate. It's her like just losing it completely.
Issue 1 of House of M, Ellie. Yeah, that's the Scarlet Witch right there.
You can see it too, right there. You can kind of see it too, or she's just like she's losing it.
And Double A put up some great books right there. Later on, I forgot to do the TikTok. I'll do the TikTok.
Got me that one because I just needed it after WandaVision. Yeah, and then I got the first appearance of their kids, Billy and Tommy, at Authority Comics. I went into Mario's shop. I saw it there after I met Lou Ferrigno, and I was like, Mario, let me have that one. He was like, I knew you were going to say that. So he got me one. He gave CM one, himself two. Yeah. Which CM was like, fucking
stunned, man. I mean, I was like, wow, thank you, Mario, so much. So very, very nice gift. So. And later on, I'll do a TikTok, guys, and I'll get up close with these with the regular light on. We're bathing ourselves in purple and red light for a reason, and it's kind of washing out our image here, but you get it.
I know this show is kind of like mixed, and I think people built up the guest appearances too much and who they were hoping to see too much, and I think a lot of people got let down by it. I never read the spoilers. CM knows I hate reading spoilers. I don't like reading any kind of spoilers, theories, whatsoever. So I was happy. I love the show. I love the flow of it. I was good with it. I already knew it was after Avengers Endgame. Yeah. I already knew, hey, Vision's not alive. Yeah. He's fucking dead. Are they doing kind of like a House of M where she's losing her mind? I was like, oh my goodness. My wife got hooked when I told her what it was about. Yeah. Like, that Wanda is potentially maybe a top 5 strongest character in the Marvel universe. Maybe.
Definitely.
It always depends on the writers, how they use her magic or powers really. It always really depends. It varies. No one has really ever really gone deep until like House of M came and showed what Wanda can do that you're like, holy shit. Yeah. Like Wanda's really strong. And then they kind of confirm in this, not to jump too much, but they kind of confirm in this show that if it wasn't for Thanos kind of like calling down the fire, the missiles, she would have killed him. Yeah. Right then and there. They wouldn't have needed the fucking glove. Wanda could have fucking demolished him herself at that moment. So
they make Vision himself pretty powerful. And
Vision's pretty damn cool, man. I always thought he was a pretty fucking lame, boring character. But Paul Bettany, man, he does.
What an actor, man.
Great job. I mean, yes. Great job as Vision.
You've got, Paul Bettany, you've got Elizabeth Olsen.
I love her. Man, she's so great.
I looked up their ages, Double A.
She's 32 or something.
Yeah, and he's 50.
Yeah, he's already up there.
But he looked great.
He did.
He looked in great shape.
Always, he always keeps his arms in great shape.
Fit, yeah. The outfits they put him in. I mean, and gosh damn it, they can both really, really act.
Oh, man, Elizabeth Olsen, who I fell in love with her in this series.
Totally.
I was like, okay.
Totally. I liked her in the other stuff, but
I did really too, but man, she blew me away here. I loved her. I became a big Elizabeth Olsen fan. She made me love Wanda.
Right.
I never thought I would ever get into this character, Wanda. And she made me fall in love with her. That's became my wife's number one character, actually. Yeah, she loves Wanda now.
That's cool to get a Wanda fan in the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been, like I said, I would never thought I would have bought a Wanda t-shirt, cared anything about Scarlet Witch and Vision books, but man, this show did a fantastic job of making them super interesting, really dynamic. There's a really, really huge
funny
underlying message.
Action. Yes, the underlying message I think a lot of people kind of miss because they were hoping to see Doctor Strange. They were hoping to see a Mephisto, that they weren't really grasping at what was really happening inside of Wanda's head.
Right.
You know, which was grief.
Yeah. And here's a person that lost her parents at a young age, then, you know, gets experimented on, loses her brother, then she loses her lover. It's like
twice.
You know,
she loses Vision twice.
Yeah.
Once when she has to do it, and then once when Thanos
she has to watch it get done by Thanos.
Yeah.
You know, and how awful is that? Can you imagine killing the person that
one
you love
person
the most?
No matter that he's an android, it was the only person for her that really seemed to understand her, to get her.
Yeah.
You know, to show her sensitivity and love.
Yeah.
You know,
I saw a cool thing. Double A had said that Paul Bettany's been in the Marvel Universe the longest because he was with Jarvis and Iron Man all the way till now WandaVision. You know, so it's like he's been in the whole span. That's pretty interesting to hear about Paul Bettany. But
so see him. A lot of people. Let's get into it. A lot of people are kind of like. I remember the reviews for the first two. Not a lot of people were getting it. What was going on? Of course, like I said, me and you knew what was going on. This is like 6 months after Endgame.
Yeah.
Vision's not supposed to be there.
What's going on here? Yeah.
And she has, that ability. She has that power to make everything the way she wanted it to be.
Yeah. I mean, it starts out in like a 1950s
episodic
type show,
a Dick Van Dyke show.
Yeah, I mean, black and white, and like my sister was kind of like I couldn't get into it, bro.
Yeah,
it was corny.
Yes,
I said,
which I thought was weird. Yeah, I was like, no, you got to look deeper than the outside.
Plus, even from episode 1, there's little subtleties that happen.
Big time, when the hearts.
That's right.
Even in the office too, when he's working in the office, he's like, what do we do here?
Exactly. And so the mystery is already beginning to unravel. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're going to be following little threads. Now I get it. Some people probably were like, well, couldn't they have just done that in the first maybe 5 minutes and moved us right into the story? I'm like, no, it was a slow burn. You got to like drag it out.
Me and Tim, we love stories. We love this. So I was not like, oh man, this fucking sucks. I loved it, because it's weird. Like I said, we already knew Wanda was kind of breaking down a little bit. We didn't realize how bad it was yet.
Right.
Yeah. So it kind of starts off like they're married.
Yeah.
And they have like normal. She's a normal housewife. He's a fucking cubicle worker, and they have this dinner planned out, and it's all chaos. It's all ugly.
Yeah, and they almost have like secret identities, right? Where he's like changing to his regular face and changing
like a
back.
Clark Kent almost, right?
Yeah, and she's hiding her powers, but she's using them like when it's just them in the house. It was kind of neat. It was like, and we're also fans of those type of old shows.
I love Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, I used to watch Dick Van Dyke on Nick at Night, so it was like for us, it was I think an easy kind of very palatable.
Yes, it was,
and it was funny. It had funny moments.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And I was really surprised that my wife and daughter joined me.
Yeah,
they got hooked into it too. So it's kind of cool when you kind of get like non-comic people to kind of see the show, because they kind of see it in a different way that someone like me and CM will look at it.
Yeah,
they'll see it and be like, wow, what's going on? They'll be like really interested in the mystery,
right?
Especially when like Mr. Hart starts choking on the food.
Yeah,
and then you see like Mrs. Hart, she's like, stop it, but then she starts talking to Wanda.
Yeah,
stop it, and it's kind of like you're like, what the hell is going on here? What the fuck's going on?
And she gets very serious, right? And
yes,
she's like,
almost where they kind of lose the control. Yeah.
And that's played by Mrs. Hart's played by the great actress
Deborah Jo Rupp. Yeah,
Deborah
I love her
from
that 70s show.
That 70s show.
I love her.
And she's always so good at being quirky, and they go right back into it with the she covers her eyes. And she's like, this guest is leaving your house.
Yeah, the Sokovian greeting. Yeah.
So guys, it has so many funny beats like that, but then also there's a little bit, like I said, there's that line of
you're like
seriousness.
what the fuck's going on?
Right. So I think right in episode 2, and guys, we're going to be like all over
everywhere.
It's 9 episodes.
Share your comments too if you watch WandaVision and you kind of want to talk about something. We'll talk about it.
Especially towards the end, because towards the end I have a bunch of notes that what do I do, guys? I fucking forgot it at either at work or at home. So that great page of notes I had all about episode 9, I don't know where it's at. And I was going to talk to you. I wanted to talk to you so much about the ship of Theseus.
Yeah,
But we'll get to it.
That was a great one too. Yeah, that was great.
I was like, holy shit,
love that story.
I went and looked up so much more stuff, and then
I love that.
I want to talk to you about the Blade Runner stuff too. That was really neat.
Yeah.
But anywho, so yeah, like I said, 9 episodes, 45 to maybe 50 minutes at
first,
most.
like 4 were almost like 35 minutes.
Yeah, they're really short.
They were really short. The first like 4 or 5. So,
like I said, I binged it again in 2 days, and again appreciated it even more. Like I was like, oh my gosh, it's so
the characters they introduced, the characters they reintroduced, the character. I mean, it was just like, wow, I never thought I'd see these minor characters again, and they were really good in this series.
Yeah,
they fit for WandaVision.
And you know what's funny, Double A? I think, because I would watch the episode, I wouldn't read the boards, but I would not be afraid of spoilers anymore because I'd already seen it. But I would see what people were saying, and they'd be like, "Oh, what do you think?" And all the fan theories. So
man,
it was making a lot of, but it was, what it was doing, Double A? It was doing almost like a Game of Thrones, where it was making a lot of like water cooler talk.
Yes.
So people were, because it came out weekly, you didn't get to get it all at once. People were talking about it. I
loved
week to week. I agree. Just like Mandalorian was. It was like week to week.
Don't give me a binge watching. I fucking hate that shit, because if you don't watch it on that day, everyone just blows up with spoilers for days and days.
And who has time to sit?
I don't. I really don't.
Me neither. And it was funny because I heard a great thing on Fat Men Beyond where they said, you drop an entire season of, say, Stranger Things, someone binges it, that weekend, right? Then you're like, oh, I saw season 4. It was awesome or whatever. I loved it. But then you're like, what did you love about it? You're like, damn, I really can't remember because I watched it so fast.
And see, that's the thing. I had this conversation too, because I was like, I saw Cobra Kai like in one day, and then after that, I haven't seen it again.
Yeah, you're longer without it.
Yeah,
you watched it all at once.
WandaVision, it was nice. It was like week to week, every Friday. It was like a good Friday after the week's done. See it on Friday. Boom. Okay, cool. Get you talking for the weekend. You're anticipating it more for Friday, and man, I loved it. I really did.
Totally. I feel exactly the same way, man. And it was nice because it let you have that week to theorize it. People were breaking down the episodes weekly because it was coming out weekly.
For some people is probably a bad thing to do, because they got themselves so pumped up that when it finally ended, a lot of people were pissed off, and
I had no expectations.
I had none either.
You know what? To me, the show is going to be what delivers me what I want. Not like, I'm not hyping myself up so much for like maybe one big cameo at the end that it's going to ruin the show for me.
For me too, it's like honestly, I don't want to see Doctor Strange. This is about Wanda. This is about Vision. I don't want to see the Strange. I don't want to see Mephisto. I don't want to see any of that. I want to see her story that she gets in these 9 episodes. Yeah.
In a way, it's almost like, when they gave us a Wolverine movie, Wolverine Origins, and then the Wolverine, we thought we were going to get to see some of the really cool stuff about that character.
About him.
Right. Yeah. But we didn't. We got, instead, they're kind of just trying to, like, I don't know, just tell this weird narrative, and it doesn't even tie together. I mean, it sucked. So because this was a deep dive on them, it was almost like we got a Wanda and Vision movie, and we got to know those characters more. It's a great formula.
Which was great. Like I said, I became a bigger Vision fan than I've ever been in my entire life. Yeah. And Wanda, man, I just fell in love with Wanda. I love this show. I love Wanda now. I want to go back and read some Wanda stories, which
that's
is like,
how I feel.
I'm like, that's never happened to me before, ever.
That's why I went on my House of M hunt, and I was still trying to locate my issue 7. But that's why, is because this show. You know what I mean? And I never would have thought. Now, when she did, debut in Age of Ultron, all that, I always knew of her and knew her power. And I was like, to me, she's like a reality stone. That's what she is. She can bend reality. That's her power. You know what I mean? Now, she wasn't really using it to that degree or whatever. But in this show,
which I like too, because it shows why. It's like she's never really been properly trained.
Right.
It's like everything you've seen, it's almost like she's kind of just using it because of what she knows, and it's kind of like just the tip of what her powers are. Yeah. It's like she doesn't know how to control her powers to do all that kind of stuff. You know, so I liked it a lot, and it's really cool how they gradually show how she starts to understand her power and how strong she is.
Right. And she's doing a lot. We can come to understand she's doing a lot with that power.
You take a whole town under your control.
Right.
I mean, holy fuck.
Yeah. It's pretty damn extreme. And then to be creating that type of reality. Yeah. We kind of skip around generations. We go from, the 50s and your Dick Van Dyke, and we go kind of right into like the 60s. Bewitched. Yeah. Yeah. And it has that kind of opening. There's different openings.
Even
different
the house,
songs.
it looks like a Bewitched. Well, even the opening is Bewitched.
Yeah. Which is a great, kind of, Bewitched and you've got the witch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's, and we were fans of that show too. So that's kind of neat. The little hallmarks and the callbacks. You know, you also get. What did you think about? I wanted to hear your opinions on. Again, this was one of the fan theorizing, and I wasn't thinking anything about it. I just thought that it was a cool thing. But the little commercials in episode 1,
I thought that was fucking weird. So first off, I was like, okay,
I'll take one of those.
So I was like, okay, first off, it was Stark.
That's right.
So I was like, okay,
the toaster,
cool,
toaster.
Stark.
Right.
You know, it's like she knows Tony, whatever.
Yeah.
When he started getting into the Hydra stuff, that's when I was like,
right.
What the fuck, Hydra?
Yeah.
Like, why is she like showing Hydra? That's like the ultimate evil.
Yeah. And in episode 2, it's the watch, the Strucker watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was
then
like,
the soap,
like a Baron. Yeah. I was like, like a Baron.
I was like, Baron
reference.
Strucker. I was like, whoa.
And
you know,
now that we've ingested the show in its full, I guess what those were just showing were like pretty much like highlights of her life.
And it shows kind of like in episode 8 what that's all about, you know. But we get there in episode 8. But until then, you're kind of like, I understand the Tony thing, but why Hydra? Why hell Hydra?
Right.
You know, and
that's
what it kind of was like, the mystery, the great mystery that was building up. You know, in episode 2, we get like a whole bunch of that crazy kind of stuff. You know,
you also get the first appearance of the sword logo, and the little helicopter
honestly
shows up.
Up to this point, Tim, I don't know about you, I never heard of Sword.
I had never heard of Sword either.
I didn't even know that was like a thing. I didn't know that was like the sister or brother version, whatever you want to call it, of Shield that kind of watches the, I guess, like the outer space, the aliens kind of stuff. You know, I've never heard of Sword before, so
I hadn't either.
That was very interesting. So, because I didn't know about the helicopter, I was like, "What the hell is that?" I thought it was an Iron Man because it was like Iron Man colors,
right?
So I thought it was like, okay, is Stark? Is it like fucking Stark's thing? Is Stark technology? You know, I didn't know any of that. So, that was really cool. I really like that. You know, and then you get Geraldine.
That's right, Geraldine appears. Yeah.
You know, which I was like, wow, I couldn't believe they were introducing her already.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to wait until maybe she had more time. Brie Larson.
Right.
You know, because obviously she becomes Captain Marvel.
Yeah, she becomes or Photon. Yeah.
Photon. Which is her mother's nickname. I saw.
That's right. In her call sign on her plane in the Captain Marvel movie. That's right. That's her mom. And we were it's funny. I wrote that in the thing. I was going to say Monica Rambeau had a lot of monikers, and I was like, Monica's monikers, because she was Photon and she was Captain Marvel. It's just, but again, guys, some of this stuff, if you're just watching casually, like Double A's wife, you didn't know any of this shit. You're just watching a show and you see the helicopter and you're like, what's in color? Like, why is that or whatever? You know.
I mean, I was lost. I was like, wow, what is this?
And let me tell you too, another thing, Double A, I think a lot of people were like, kind of like the little bit of bitterness was because like people were like having to wait. They were having to wait. When you're watching it all at once, it's so fast because by the end of episode 2, Wanda's already pregnant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't realize that.
Yeah. She fucking made herself pregnant. And my daughter was like asking, how is she pregnant? He's an android.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, that's a conversation for later.
No, I just kind of told her, I was like, look, she's magical. That's how powerful she is that she can make her fucking self pregnant.
She's fucking immaculately conceived
and with the babies too, that you can feel, that you can touch babies like that are physical.
Yeah.
How you're like, wow, how strong is fucking Wanda that she made herself pregnant with life, you know?
And jumping ahead a little bit, I wrote this down too. One of my questions I wanted us to discuss is I was like, you can say that she essentially created them.
Yeah.
But her own powers didn't work on them.
No.
Why do you think that was?
I think it's almost like, it's funny because like they kind of show that with Cyclops and Havoc. Remember that their powers can never hurt each other.
That's interesting, right? Yeah.
So maybe
I kind of like that. I almost thought of it as almost like a, not to get all like religious, but like a God gave man free will. Like the kids,
and she's kind of like that, right?
Yeah, they're independent of her.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
So
maybe she put that too. Sure.
Yeah.
Without even realizing it,
Yeah. She wanted them to be more real, so that way she can just control them.
Remember, she still doesn't really control her powers very well at all. Like when she's giving birth, everything's going haywire. Everything in the town is just going nuts.
Yeah.
Because she's still not in fully control of her powers. Like I say, you're just seeing like the tip of what Wanda can do. And when she gets like rattled, excited, that's pretty bad news for like the town that she's controlling, you know?
And I remember watching this the first time, guys. And again, I watched every episode twice. When I watched it the first time, I'm like, man, it took like, because when I was going to do my rewatch, I was like, man, it's going to be like, you know, the black and white episodes. And it was like, it's so fast.
It's fast.
It happens right. Like by episode 3, it's the 60s already. It's like the Partridge Family kind of vibe, right? That they went with. Did you watch that one?
Yes.
I would watch some episodes too. So you definitely get that vibe of that. And if you're a fan of any of these old shows, I know some of our audience is a little bit older than us, you would definitely dig it because it's so much fun. And it's also superheroes. But by that one, she's already Vision's asking more questions. You know,
right? It's weird, right? How Vision's kind of like, does this seem right?
Right,
you know?
Exactly. He's starting to question,
and he's like, "How are you so pregnant already?"
Yeah,
you know?
And they're
like,
in color now. They switched to color.
They switched to color.
Yeah, and then by that end of that one, it's like Tommy and Billy are born. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, that. And again, if you're an insider and you know, you're like, oh, that's the names in the comics. They use their kids' names. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I did not know.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know I knew she had kids somehow with Vision. I never looked at how they had kids together, and I never knew their names. So Billy and Tommy, I was like, okay.
Yeah, so we were like learning in this one, you know, a little bit, both of us. And then we get the kind of the big, you know, the name drop. They name drop Pietro in this one, her brother.
I was a twin.
She's there with Geraldine, and you know, then she says something that calls us back to the world we know when she says,
Ultron by Ultron?
Yeah, and then you just see almost like Elizabeth Olsen.
Man,
the acting just
great fucking acting.
I felt like I'm watching a character like I love and she's fun to this new mom, right? To like I'm watching a villain. Like I was like, holy shit! Like it gave me chills, man.
Guys, have you ever seen The Boys in the way that Anthony Starr makes you feel with Homelander? That's why I felt with Elizabeth Olsen on this part.
Great,
like where you're just like, holy shit!
Like it gave you like a pit in your stomach, like, oh god, what's she gonna do?
You're like, oh no,
because you don't want her to be the bad guy.
You don't want her to be
the bad guy.
No.
And I just want to mention one character we haven't talked about, played by the great Catherine Hahn. Hilarious. Agnes there since episode 1. The nosy neighbor there, and I love her faces and everything.
Time, right?
Yeah, always
coming at the right time.
Perfect timing, man. But I love Catherine Hahn. I mean, guys, people know her from Step Brothers,
Bad Moms. Have you ever seen the Bad Moms movies? The Visit from M. Night Shyamalan. She comes out in that one.
She's great in almost like everything she's in. She's fantastic. But guys, we're nearing up on our next 30-minute mark. You know that we're now talking all things WandaVision. What a fantastic show. Me and Double A are in 100% agreement on how much we loved it. What did you think about WandaVision? Did you wait till it was over and watch it all? Have you not watched it yet?
Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it?
Yeah, will you watch it? Like I said, I was desperate for my sister and my girlfriend to watch it, and I got them to watch some of it with me, but they didn't like fully invest. I think my sister's still not done, and I don't think that my
wife and daughter loved it. They that's my wife's favorite Marvel hero. She now
couldn't have chose someone better, man. And in the top tier of power.
You know, icons, you can pick the icon from the Disney Plus. She picked Wanda.
Oh, I didn't know that those were out there. I need to go switch mine right now. Mine's currently Mando still. So
that's mine.
Nice. Guys, and we'll be right back. If you're on Facebook Live, we'll be right here with you. Guys, we appreciate you sticking with us here on the Facebook Live. Now is the time in our break that we read your comments. That's kind of our format here. Again, we're talking all things WandaVision. We just do a little break that's for our audio recording portion. Yeah, it's got to take every 30 minutes. It has to kind of process the audio that we've recorded. I guess it does it in chunks to make it easier for the app to handle. But it looks like we just got a few comments in here, and just a few of you Friday Nighters in here tonight. Unlike the last couple,
they started off kind of late. So
we started a little bit late. Sorry, guys. Let's see, Double A. Go ahead, take it away.
Rich says, "Yeah, I didn't know she was that strong either, but the show does show her potential. So it's her powerful, like Dark Phoenix type of things. Ooh."
You know what? I saw one of the memes I saw, Rich, is they put them two side by side, and they say, "What do y'all think?" And it's like very interesting because when we get to the later episodes, you're going to hear some of the things that we hear said about her. We're like, whoa,
that's a great question because when Claremont was writing Dark Phoenix at that time, Jean was like almost the be all end all, like most powerful kind of mutant you can be. I mean, her name was being like mentioned like Galactus,
right?
and like all those universal threats.
Right.
Wow. Could she take out Dark Phoenix?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think what Marvel Studios is doing is a little bit different.
For me, the only person I thought that can ever really take out Dark Phoenix like easily would be Franklin. Man, Wanda though,
you're in that high tier. Now, can we easily say they don't make her like that in the comics? I can't really say because I haven't read a lot of stuff.
It wasn't until House of M that you really started seeing like, whoa, Wanda is like that Omega level mutant.
That's what you're talking about.
You know that you're,
and then there's that too. She's a mutant also. Could you see maybe her and Franklin even?
I mean, yeah, that too. I mean, like Rich. I mean, like what? Just 3 words. She took out 90% of the mutant population by saying no more mutants.
It means it's her thought.
Just her fucking words.
What I tell people about the Reality Stone is when you see Thanos use it against Drax in Infinity War, he pretty much just like Drax is running at him. He just like turns him into like these clay blocks. That's what the reality to me. That's what her powers are. Her powers are to bend reality. So it's like whatever I think. Like you're a frog now. Like you know what I mean. Like whatever. Like I could just melt the background like ice cream behind me. That's your power is just it's at your whim. Which is this show. I think did a great job of explaining it and showing that power.
It's scary to think how strong she can be.
Yeah.
You know.
To answer your question, Rich, I would think
that's maybe, a great issue.
It is a great. They should really bring that into
because
play
Dark Phoenix in the 70s when Chris Claremont was writing it. Yeah.
And we saw her. That's one thing maybe that the third X-Men movie did do is they kind of show her doing things like that, where she's like pretty much making you into dust and shit. Like she has that. That is like Phoenix's power is like also too at her thought.
I mean, she consumed the whole star.
Right. And the Dark Phoenix is like, it's not like a mind that has to wrap its self around doing things. It's already an entity, a cosmic being. So it already knows like, I'm just going to like melt you or obliterate you to dust. You know what I mean? So I definitely think she could, you know what? By the end of the show, we see that the skills are going up.
Yeah.
So, you know
that's
what I
mean?
What
I'm saying. Like it shows how scary she can be.
I don't know if any like that in the comics has been done, but I sure as hell would love to see it because that's exactly what that's on.
Rich says, do you think they have more material to keep the show going on for a while? I don't know. I would like to see it going, but I don't know.
I would say yes. When we get to the later episodes in this episode, I think that there definitely is enough material, especially with the other character in the show, Vision, to go on and tell more of that story. And I mean, I don't think that
it leaves it kind of wide open though. We'll talk about it a little bit with the White Vision.
Yeah, we'll get to that, Rich. Definitely great. Jimmy in the house says, "Sup, bro? What's up, Jimmy? Appreciate you being on the live, man. Happy birthday to my mom." He says, "Mom, Jimmy says happy birthday." Jimbo, thank you for that, man. Appreciate it. Jimbo, did you watch WandaVision? Are you on the Disney Plus at all? Is that your jam, man? Let us know what you thought. Rich says, yeah, they keep her power very low key. I wonder if she's up there, can she battle those universal beings?
You know what? The way she was able to like pretty much was gonna tear apart Thanos. Yeah.
Don't forget how she contained Vision also in Civil War.
Yes.
And she melts him into and Vision is powerful as fuck. She pretty much, that's what Hawkeye tells her. He goes, no, I can't stop you, but she can.
It'd be interesting to see her going up against Surfer, just kind of like as that kind of like gatekeeper, because Surfer can do a lot of shit himself.
He's always my sleeper guy. Yes. Where it's like he cannot maybe do the reality bending thing, but he
manipulates the energy.
Right. Very durable and also very powerful.
Yes.
So he can release a lot of energy and he can also take a lot of punishment.
I would like to see her go up against Surfer, see how she does against someone like him.
Yeah. Definitely, man. Yeah. But no, when she first appeared, I told people, I said, she's the one to watch. You want to ask who's the strongest Avenger? It's always been her.
It kind of shows. It's kind of like they were kind of like debating between her and Carol. So,
yeah, that was an interesting conversation that got had there.
Well, let's get into it then.
Yeah, let's get right back into it, guys, because we got the juiciness continues here with all things WandaVision. Again, you guys know our format. Every 30 minutes, we take a little break, read through your comments. We invite you to join the conversation.
Send them in, man. If you've seen it and you didn't like it, let us know, and we'll read them.
Yeah, or what you really loved about it? Was there maybe another character that you really latched onto? Maybe you liked Herb. You know what I mean? He was cool. You know what I mean?
All right.
Another neighbor there. You know what I mean? So, Guys, if you're joining us on our audio version, you know that we just kind of would, as I like to say, blipped out real quick, but then we're right back. And if you're with us on Facebook Live, we read through some of your comments. We always invite you to join the conversation live on Friday night if you're able to. And tonight we are talking all things WandaVision. Me and Double A got it bad. The Scarlet Fever, because we're in love with Lizzie Olsen and her great job as Wanda Maximoff. So yeah, Double A. So some of the things that are kind of coming up in the conversation there, the other half of Wanda, we've got Vision there doing a great job. I loved the costumes, the designs, the sets, everything looked great. So Kevin Smith and Mark Bernard on Fat Man Beyond, they had on the director, Matt, I believe his name was Matt.
Nice.
Matt Shackman.
Really?
Yeah, they're really good about getting on like some of the people that do the behind the scenes stuff. Because they also had on the guy that did the costume designs. I wrote his name down here. Sorry, guys. Excuse my notes are kind of all over the place. Don't make sense. But director Matt Shackman. And what he said was he mentioned some of the stuff. He goes, man, I know that, we kind of got some heat because of some of the things that we didn't do. He goes, but remember that the order was a factor, that it came out in an order, not that it was intended to. It wasn't going to come out in that order at first. So he mentioned that, but he also mentioned that some of the parts where you hear the studio audience, they really were in front of a studio audience.
They really were.
Yeah, that was really cool. And they were asking him, like, wow, you didn't feel like that would, mess up? And he goes, no, we thought that it would be, great. They talked about how,
look, me and you were able to, get on the show. We'd be right there laughing, clapping. Totally. We'd be right there. So that's probably not even like a hard part right there,
Mm-mm. Not at all, man. So, and we just talked about pretty much
we're talking about like some of the good actors, and we're talking about, Agnes, what a great job she does.
Yeah. Tiona, I don't know if it's Tiana or Tiona. Paris plays Geraldine at first, and then we were about to discover at the end of episode 3 going into 4 that is Monica Rambeau, who we last saw as a little girl in Captain Marvel, the daughter of Mary. I think it's Mary. Mary, is it Mary?
I forgot her name.
The mom, Photon, Photon, her mom, which was Carol Danvers, co-pilot, best friend that would fly together. So we see now, okay, she's all grown up, obviously, because that movie takes place in the 90s, and now we're back here in WandaVision.
Yeah, which I thought was like, okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah, and Double A was saying earlier, man, he didn't know they were gonna, bring that character into fruition right away.
Right this way, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
she plays it great too. I loved her.
How about the start of episode 4, Double A, where we get to see someone coming back from the blip?
Yeah, which was great. That was something that you kind of see in Spider-Man, but this one kind of was like, whoa.
Okay, so I got some questions for you, and questions for the Friday Night Faithful and the Friday Nighters out there. Okay, they show Monica Rambeau coming back. She's sitting in a chair in her mom's hospital. Okay, what if that place that you're coming back to doesn't exist anymore?
I know.
What if you blipped and you were in an airplane?
Yeah.
Where do you come back?
Yeah.
Do you just blip into midair?
Yeah.
Like, I want to know more about that.
It was kind of weird. Yeah.
Like, what if what if I blipped out in a house, but then the house is demolished?
Yeah.
Am I in the middle of a demolished area? Like, like they need to, Marvel needs to help us out a little bit with that.
Yeah. Maybe. I was kind of telling my wife too, I was like, damn, can you imagine like all the people that lost their loved ones and then kind of connected with someone else? I was like, dude,
that
nasty shit.
There's a lot of room for weirdness.
Yeah.
I mean, her situation was traumatic, right? She comes back, she's like, my mom beat cancer, and they're like, your mom died 3 years ago, right? And then she's like, 2 years after you vanished. You don't even know you vanished.
Yeah.
In fact, I thought the people were surprisingly calm. Like, I was like, she got lucky. She ran into that doctor, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like, people are back. You know what I mean? And
great stuff. I love that. I love that whole stuff about showing the blip and kind of her readjusting to life again.
Right. Really tying us into the events of Infinity War and then and Endgame. Yeah. So what I didn't like, one of the things I wrote down in my notes here is she goes to that fucking sword office, and that guy at the desk is a fucking asshole,
dick,
man.
What a fucking dick that security dude was.
I love how Tiana, I really want to say her name right, Tiana Paris. But Monica, she's very cool about it.
She is.
I would have been like,
fuck you.
Yeah, I would have been like, do you know who I am?
Yeah,
who the fuck are you, security guard? Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And then I write right here, we get to meet Is it Haywood or Hayward?
Yeah, Haywood.
But I just wrote next to it, cocksucker. What a fucking major asshole.
I like that dude in the beginning, man.
No way. He sucked balls from the start, man. I was like, this guy fucking blows. Then he tells her that, oh, it's your mom's protocol.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, my thing is, I'm like, well, she's gone now. Like,
Yeah,
we're following protocols of a person that's dead. Like, okay, if I was Monica,
yeah,
I'd
but
have been like,
who would have thought like missing persons case would turn out to be this big old thing, though? True.
Yeah. Well, not even that, but she comes back. They make it seem like she was in line to take over Sword. I'm like, when Nick Fury disappears and comes back, he's still right where he was at Shield. It's not like they demoted him.
Sword.
Right? Yeah. Like this other guy, and I get it. Somebody had to run the show while people were gone.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Honestly, look, you see Nick Fury, he's still not really back on Earth.
Yeah.
He's in space.
Right.
With the Skrulls the last time we saw him.
At the end of Far From Home?
Yeah.
That's right.
So he's still not even back,
Yeah. And then we also get the appearance of another gentleman from the Ant-Man universe.
Yeah, man, Jimmy Woo.
Jimmy Woo, man.
What the fuck? And he looks like he got better at magic.
Yeah, played by the great Randall Park, who also is coming out in Young Rock. You get to see him as himself in Young Rock. He's playing the interviewer guy interviewing Rock during his presidential run here, So fantastic actor. I didn't watch him in the I know he's in that one, the rom-com that's on Netflix with the comedian Ali Wong.
I really only see him in that Seth Rogen Franco movie where he plays Kim Jong.
Oh, that's right. That's him. And he's great in that. The interview.
Yeah, the interview.
Oh my God, he's fantastic. I didn't realize that was him. He's a little bit heavier in that one.
Yeah.
He's so good. He's so good in that, man. I fucking love that movie, man, too. But he's just outstanding.
I was like, man, you bring back that kind of character from Ant-Man, who's kind of like on the outer edges of like the Marvel universe,
right?
And you give him like a really beefy, meaty part, and he fucking nails it, man,
big time. Like if you weren't like,
he's
again,
great.
I had to kind of get refreshed. I was like, oh, that's the one from Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Because he didn't really stick in my mind, not as much as some of the other characters in that movie that are rich. But I was like, man, he really stuck the landing. I was like, holy shit,
yeah! I was
fantastic work by Randall Park, man. I loved it. And we also get, and guys, again, it felt like a lot. It was 3 weeks for us to get to this. People were like, we want to break through. We want to know what's going on in the regular. What are they seeing? And it was like you were like, fuck, I'm chomping at the bit, but I'm not seeing nothing. Well, now you're getting it all in this episode. I think the episode's even called we interrupt this broadcast because it's like now you're seeing the regular world, and we get someone else from the Thorverse,
Kat Dennings, Darcy,
the gorgeous Kat Dennings. I mean, man, what a feast for the eyes for sure. But also so funny. She brings all that humor from Thor and all
kind
that.
of like a character that you never would have thought outside of the Thor movies that would actually be significant. And she is in this in this series too. She's fucking great. She's a doctor herself. I don't know if she was that in the Thor movies.
I forget what she says.
Yeah, but I mean, and you kind of like, it's funny because I don't know if you remember, but at the end of after episode 1, there's someone that's monitoring them.
That's right.
And then it turns out to be Darcy. Darcy's someone that's looking at.
She's watching the show.
Yeah. But man, she's great. So much more better than the Thor movies.
Yes. More fleshed out.
More fleshed out. Shows kind of like her intelligence.
Yes.
Her skills, her cunning. So,
and what I love about that is that it's almost establishing in the Marvel universe, like, hey, if this person's the top in that field, it doesn't matter what movie we're in, they're the top in that field. There's only a handful of people. And Darcy's one of those people. So I love what she tells him, doctor, you know what I mean? Doctor, it's like, don't fucking forget. And she's so witty and so funny, like, she needs a coffee and
which she never gets.
I know.
She never gets coffee.
Poor thing. Poor thing.
She's the one that figures out, the Wanda, that it's Wanda. First off, she's the one that kind of figures out that. She's the one that tries to connect to Wanda, that you see in episode 2, that you find out it's Jimmy Woo. That's like, Wanda, who's doing this to you, Wanda?
Right.
That's all because of, Darcy, getting in there, monitoring. She's the one that gives eyes inside WandaVision.
Yeah.
And
we also see, Monica gets something sent out of the hex at this point, or whatever.
Yes,
and then they start to call it that. Darcy coins the.
But then on that episode too, where they start showing Darcy, that's where they start showing, Monica. Like, hey, she's in there.
Yeah.
You know, because you see her disappear.
Right.
You know, and then you're like, oh, she's in there. They figure that she knows who she is.
Yeah.
You know, and she's
like a little bit. Yeah. Because
she's like kind of like undercover, you know.
Right.
And Jimmy Woo's like, that's not the same chick that I met. You know?
She's kind of playing a part in a ways. One of the things that happens and you know, at this point too, that was kind of a moment that was like, oh shit, like the joke was where, you know, Wanda looks back at Vision and it's the Vision with the Infinity Stone with the mind's crazy, and he's the dead looking, and you're like, holy shit! Like, I kind of jumped for real. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
I did
like,
too, yeah.
And she jumps, you know, like she's like, holy shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like her power's kind of like losing, right?
Right.
Like she kind of focus, and then she sees him, and then she regains herself.
Well, I think it's her own mind.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because she's like,
itself.
You know, because I think she says something like at the end too, like, "Don't worry, I have everything under control." Right, you know, so yeah,
and you get that very spooky, eerie. Like, is she the bad guy in this show? Like, what? And
see, that's what you're thinking, because you're just like, no, Wanda can't be the bad guy. You know, she's an Avenger.
Yeah,
and it kind of reminded me too of like our earlier episode of like Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. You know, like how, you know, like you take something from the hero that they really love, and if they have the power to do it, a lot of times they're going to step into that dark side and do it.
That was a big theme of us when we did the
Emerald
Knight and the Rebirth. You know what I mean? Well, I would say more like the Emerald Knight was
the Emerald Knight. Yeah,
his path to Parallax was like, fuck this. Like, I can do what I want, and I'm not gonna. You know what I mean? And that's a very interesting theme too. That I know you say you talked about with your wife. What would you do?
What would you do?
And I want to
have that power.
Yeah, I want to ask that question to yourself, and then let's talk about that at the end too. My last note on that episode, and we're not really going episode by episode, but just I wanted to ask you about it. It ends with Voodoo Child,
Hendrix
version. And I was like, damn.
Hendrix.
And you're like, I'm like, why that song? And I'm just like, man, it's almost like that's her, right? Yeah. She's like the Voodoo Child, you know what I mean? Like the magic, you know.
I was playing guitar. I was like,
I was like, damn, they look at you know, Marvel had to shell out for them. Them Jimi Hendrix,
like Hollywood Hogan.
Fuck, man. So damn good. So, guys, I mean, now this was the episode that when I was reading, and again, I'm listening.
Oh, and then at the end of the episode, that's when, you know, you get the realization of Monica's like, it's Wanda.
It's Wanda. It's all Wanda.
There's no one controlling her.
Right.
Nothing. She's the one that's doing this.
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
I know. That's her line. That line to me led me to be like, oh no, she's going to end up being the primary target. And it's hard to hate her because, number one, you know what she's been through. We've known her as an Avenger, like Double A said. And then we also know you're seeing her in these kind of cutesy little, you know, the housewife and the fun Bewitched. You know, you're like, what? You just made me like love her so much. And she just had 2 babies. And I'm like, she gave me the fucking bad guy, you know?
But then it's like until you kind of start seeing like the people kind of snap out of it every now and then, just very little bit. Right. You're just like, wow, she's making them suffer.
Mm-hmm.
She's controlling them, and there's nothing they can do about it. How scary is that?
Very scary.
Especially when you know this person is an Avenger.
Yeah.
Supposed to be protecting you, and then here she is kind of like abusing her power to control you.
Right.
To make you live out this weird fucking show sitcom kind of like life that you know. You're like, what the fuck?
I mean, don't forget, right when they get there at the beginning, they arrive at Westview. There's the cops there when Monica shows up to meet Jimmy Woo, and he says, well,
there is no Westview.
There is no Westview.
Where are you from?
We're from Eastview.
We're from Eastview, and the fucking sign says Westview.
Yeah, and Jimmy says, he goes, don't you feel it? Like it doesn't want us to go in. That felt very like, and I know other people said this, but they felt very X-Files. It felt very Twilight Zone. Like, what the fuck? Like the town doesn't want you to come in.
Yeah.
But it was very kind of a spooky, eerie vibe. So, moving a little bit forward, and the next one we get kind of the Growing Pains, Family Ties. Did you watch any of those in the 80s? Were you fans?
No, I was not a fan of those.
I didn't really watch. I watched Family Ties a little bit. I liked the Michael J. Fox character because he was like a smart ass.
Yeah, he was the rich kid.
Yeah, and I watched a little bit of Growing Pains because the Kirk Cameron character. But I never watched the other one with the sisters. It was like the mom.
Full House.
No, that one I watched, but it was like the the older lady, and she had all the girls in the house.
Oh shit!
I forgot what that
yeah, I forgot that one too. I know which one you're talking about.
But the intros are so great because they're like a little bit of a mashup of everything from that time. They were actually saying about this one that like they used some of like the same shot for shot like as Full House,
nice.
Which they said growing up she was on the set all the time.
So yeah. Which they showed John Stamos.
Oh right,
actually posted a picture of them two together.
Did they really? Yeah. How cool is that?
When she was a little girl,
So she's seeing her big sisters. Obviously, if you guys don't know, Elizabeth Olsen's two older sisters are Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Which I didn't know they're only like 2 years apart.
Oh really?
Yeah,
that little.
That far.
No, I thought it was they were much older.
No. They just look older because they're look like crackheads.
Yeah. Now I don't know what happened to them, but yeah, if you guys know Michelle Tanner from Full House, this is their little sister. So a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, they look gross. Them too.
Yeah, them too. No, and meanwhile, Lizzie Olsen, absolutely beautiful. But yeah, so we have a little weird part in this one, right? Double A, where Agnes kind of, is like, oh, you want me to do that again? Yeah. And Vision's like, what the fuck?
That's when you start getting those little things. You want me to come back in again and almost redo that scene?
And he's like, what? Like, what are you saying? And she's like, what are you saying?
And even before that, you kind of like see like the kind of like when Vision came in one time, it was like he was kind of questioning her. She kind of like erased that whole moment.
Right.
And he came in like different.
And we totally left out the part about the sword agent coming out of the thing, and he's a beekeeper. And she's like, no.
And again, you get rid of that scene.
Yeah. Again, it's that very firm, very kind of dark Wanda where she's
and
like,
Dottie too.
Yeah.
When she breaks the glass. Yeah.
In her hand.
And Darcy's like, wait, what just happened? Yeah. So
they didn't get to see where you hear Jimmy's voice over the phone over the radio. So again, more testament to her power that she's
which you're just like, oh no, you're just like thinking like, Wanda, please don't do this.
Yeah,
don't fucking do
this. She's cutting this scenes together.
Yeah.
So let me see again. Vision's continuing to ponder what's up every time. Especially with Wanda. This is also, I think, is where they decide to send in. They have the idea. They're like, oh, when things go through the hex, as Darcy calls it,
it just turns fucking weird.
It becomes of that time. If it's something from, if you send a cell phone through there, it would become like an old, house phone or whatever, So they have the idea. Monica, Rambo smartly says, "What if we send in something that is of the time?" So they use an old drone.
Yeah.
And the fucking your buddy asshole, is it Haywood or Haywood? I didn't even waste time to remember his name. He was a fucking dick. The head of Sword or whatever, the director. He says, "What does he say? Take the shot." Yeah. He's ready to he arms this thing.
Yeah, to kill her.
Yeah, and Monica and Jimmy there and Darcy are like, "What do you mean? What are you fucking crazy?" Because number one, they know you cannot match power with this woman by any sense of the word. And here he's trying to fucking assassinate her. It fails. And then what happens, Double A? Wanda is like, I'm about to walk out this motherfucker and let y'all know what's up. And it's badass, like Wanda and her, like kind of her Avengers.
Turns all the guns on them.
On him,
dude.
Very, I heard a lot of people say very Magneto-ish,
Magneto.
And if you guys know in the comic books, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, Pietro and Wanda match off their dad in the comic books. At least in one version that it's Magneto.
It's Magneto.
I don't know why they're Maximoff and he's Eric Lensher, but all that stuff just they keep changing it.
They do, yes, they do, so very Magneto-esque.
But it was fucking badass.
Very cool.
She totally went out there, regulated, showed her power. She told them, don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
Leave all this alone and don't come back. Because you know what I mean? Like this is my shit. So after that happens, we see her kids go from babies to toddlers.
Yeah, they're just like getting older and older by the fucking hours.
Yeah, and they're like they're right around being like maybe like 5, and they find a little doggy and they want to keep the dog in. It's a cute little like moment, like in one of those 80s shows. And they're like, no dog until you're older. Well, they look at each other and then they just boom, they turn to be about like 10 years old.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
And some of this happens in front of Agnes, and she's not really like reacting to it. Like she's kind of just like what. And even in this one, she uses her powers a little bit in front of her, and Vision kind of gets mad at her, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? You're not even trying to hide your powers." You kind of
start like, "What the hell's wrong with Agnes?" Because now you're like thinking, "Well, she knows something," or she's like, you know, because of that scene you said, right? Like where she's like, "Should I go back and come back in?" You know, so you're just thinking like, "Well, is Agnes someone?"
And even the way Wanda seems, where it's like, because you know that I think she kind of knows she's a little bit like the puppet master.
Yeah.
So when the puppet's acting oddly, even she's like, "What are you saying? Like, don't say that," in a sense, like, because you see Vision's eyebrows kind of being like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
Well, how about this scene in this one? I thought when I rewatched this, the way, like, I got a little bit too, like kind of choked up. Have a fight, you know what I mean? And he gets mad at her, and they both raise up in the air, and they're flying, and she tells him, she's like, "You never talked to me like this," and he's like, you know, like, in a sense, like, you never gave me reason to, like, you're not being honest with me, and it's like a real couple fight.
It is,
but it's intense because he's acting his ass off, man. Paul Bettany is acting his ass off.
Paul Bettany's good,
and he's telling her, "I don't have any fucking memories. Like, I don't know who I am. Like, who am I?" And you're just like, holy shit, like, man, it's an intense moment. You know, Vision pretty much goes off on her or whatever, you know, and she lies to him, and she tells him, "I don't know what you're talking about." She just keeps denying it, you know. I don't know what you're talking about, you know. Then for me, this was like the moment at the end of the episode that I was like, total geekgasm. Like, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I could not wait to talk to you about it. I was like, the door just fucking flew off the hinges on something major here, I thought. You know, but what happens, Double A? She gets a knock at the door at the end of the episode.
It's fucking Quicksilver, but the X-Men one, man, from Fox.
Evan Peters, you know. So, I mean, my mind, like, everyone I think that knows this stuff. I think
everyone's just about pop.
We were like, they finally merged it. They're giving us that, you know what I mean?
And
like,
so people all week were like thinking, you know, this is like the multiverse. It's not her brother, but it's her brother Quicksilver from Fox.
Even in my different version. Even in my own mind, I was fan theorizing. I was like, maybe her reality powers pulled him in. A living version of him still, because, you know, that episode is like the 80s episode, and the last time we see Quicksilver in the X-Men one is like in the 80s, I believe.
It is. Yes.
It would set their ages way off. Like, they wouldn't be twins, but again, multiverse. So I'm just assuming like, oh, she just, and see, that's the thing
too. Like even in I believe it's Days of Future Past, you know, there's that deleted scene where, you know, he's with her watching Magneto.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, but that's very.
And
very
I would say out of the two, he always seemed to be the more popular Quicksilver out of the two.
Well, number one, Evan Peters is a fantastic actor. I love him from American
that
Horror.
Jim Croce scene, you know, in Days of Future Past.
Oh yeah,
he turns up the speed, and you're just like,
those Fox movies did that. The Quicksilver speed really, really well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you want to see. Yeah. He's moving at a speed that is like everything else is so slow, you know, which I think that even in the Whedon cut of Justice League,
of Flash,
that's how they do Flash. That's the way to do a quick character. You do it like that. So that moment for me was like, that's when I was really pushing my sister big time. I was like, you really got to watch it. It's so cool. I love it when he's like, what, can a big brother give his freaking sister a hug? And you're like, here she is, just fought with her lover. She's so vulnerable and hurt. The dog dies earlier, the little dog the kids find when they age up, and they pretty much ask her about, like, mommy, bring him back. You can do anything, mommy. And she's like, I can't reverse death.
Yeah.
And even Agnes, well, when they tell her, yes, you can, the kids start again. Agnes says, you can do that? Like, you can. And she's telling them no, but we know, watching the show and knowing the Marvel movies, we're like, well, Vision is here and we know he's dead. So for you to be saying that, it's kind of bullshit, Wanda. But it was like she was kind of trying to teach them a lesson, like, you know, like death is not reversible or whatever. So that's kind of like a big, you know, like a big telling moment, I feel like, you know what I mean? So that was crazy. That's like episode, you know, like 5, I think. That ends. We see, you know, Pietro shows up. It's fucking the Evan Peters one.
Big cliffhanger. It got everyone talking. So
everything was a buzz about that.
Because you're just like, wow, they're finally integrating these Fox characters.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, why get him? Why not just bring back the other guy or you know, whatever. What did you think when you saw it first time?
I freaked out. I was like, wow, Evan Peters. Because like I said, I don't read spoilers or nothing.
So you got to see it with a clean.
Yeah, and I was like, holy
me
shit.
too. That's I watched it right away in the morning.
Holy shit. You know, I was like, he's here. I was like, wow, they're really bringing that whole multiverse crap, you know, of, you know, this Pietro from this earth, you know, so and so, you know. So I was like, wow, badass.
Yeah, no, I mean, same way. And again, I think you're right. I think too, because he was kind of the more popular of the two Quicksilvers. It was like, oh, this one. And plus, like, and I love him as an actor because he's great in all that.
And the other one, you know, obviously, you know, he died. Like in Age of Ultron,
he was likable though. In that one
so
too,
he didn't. You really didn't get to see him show off his chops too much.
Yeah,
because I like him in Godzilla. That him and Elizabeth Olsen are
that's right,
husband and wife
in that Godzilla. One. And I like him in I love him in Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass,
yeah, he's great. Yeah,
so
which also
it kind of sucks that, you know, he died and he really didn't get to show off what he can do. So
yeah, I think it would have been a great character to keep around. You know, so and it's so funny too because, like I said, the dog dies. They tell her she can't reverse death. We know that Vision's around, and then, you know,
and then not only that, but then it's like, well, did she bring back
Quicksilver? Yeah, again, it's kind of following in that theme because at one point she's talking to the kids on the couch too, and she tells them, they ask her, "Mommy, do you have a brother?" And she says, "Yes, I have a brother, but he's far away." She says, so again, she doesn't say he's dead. She just says he's far away. So you're like, holy shit, you know what I mean? And, you know, the dog fucking Sparky is dead, and it was eating Agnes's bushes, you know what I mean? So you're like, what the fuck? So next episode, probably we had already seen like enough of the toys and stuff, the previews. We knew this episode was coming, but we were like, when is it going to come?
When is it going to come?
And it's the funny, we've been seeing in the trailers, you know, where they're in their classic comic book costumes. You know, Vision in the green and yellow, and her in the big, you know, Scarlet Witch crown and the red cape and the ensemble. I love when shows do this, where they find a way to put it in there, like they did with Cap. They find a way to put him in the old kind of, you know, the Buccaneer boots and the other shield. And I think maybe even Superman's done some stuff like that too. Whatever. But it's always really cool, and it's kind of like, okay, maybe so that they're doing it so the fans can see, like, you see, this really wouldn't work. You know what I mean? Like kind of thing. But I love the Vision in the yellow gym shorts, and I love that. They just came off this fight, you know what I mean? And she says she's a Sokovian fortune teller. That's what her costume is. And then when he comes down, he says, she's like, "Thank you for humoring me with the costume." And then he's like, "Well, there was nothing else in my closet." Like almost like, but then you're like, oh, he's still mad. But then he's like, you joker, like you're always joking with me. And he goes, "I didn't know you had a thing for Mexican wrestlers." And then she's like, "Me gusta mucho." And he's like, "Chili con carne." You're like, what the fuck? And then, you know, you have you see her son,
Billy or Tom.
I think it's Billy. It's Billy walking around, and I recognize this right away from the very little knowledge I have of the Young Avengers. But I was like, oh shit, he's dressed like Wiccan. Like that's Wiccan. Like I was like, oh, I said that's neat. They're giving him that costume, you know. So that's pretty cool because if you know the comics, Wanda and Vision's children become also superheroes. We're called Wiccan and Speed in the comic books, whatever. And one can do like kind of occur like magic, and the other one is like Pietro, is like a speedster. So they ask him, "What are you supposed to be?" And they tell him whatever, and it's lame. And they're admiring Evan Peters being asleep on the couch, and he's using the speed. They don't do it like Fox. It's not all like Super Saiyan. He's just kind of running around fast, and he's messing with them or whatever. And then at one point, Vision's like, "I'm gonna go and work security for the town," and so he can kind of get out of hanging out. And she's kind of mad, like, well, this is their first Halloween. And well,
you know, there's something up.
Right. You can tell there's something up. He wants to get away. And Quicksilver's like, "Well, don't worry, I got it," or whatever. She's like, "Well, you don't have a costume." Well, then bam, he appears, and in the classic
Quicksilver
with the hair.
Oh my god.
It was so funny, but it was such a neat way to bring it in for
it's so funny how it always looks good on fucking pages, but it doesn't look good. When you actually do it, you're like, wow.
And that's the power of these artists we love, right? The way they draw comics, but they can make the most weirdest thing. I mean, you know, Magneto with the purple and the red, and it still looks like badass. I mean, you know, but you know, like when you see it, like how they're doing it, and of course it's not form fitting. It's not with the muscles.
But even like the hair, you're just like, oh, you know. Shit.
Well, just seeing Visions, I mean, like, you know, in this episode, there's a point where he does kind of change to classic Avengers one, and it's like, man, they really did a really great rendition of it, but it looks way more badass because that other one is just like too crazy looking.
Yeah.
But guys, we got some comments in the bin. We want to read those. Again, we are talking about WandaVision right now. So let us get to this break right now at the 30-minute mark. We'll come back and we'll talk some more, guys. We're already more than halfway through, pretty much.
Yeah, we're pretty much almost done.
We're at the Halloween episode here, and it was really cool. I mean, that's what we're waiting for. I bought the Funko Pop of her in her Wanda costume.
Very nice.
Guys, if you're listening to us on audio, you'll just hear a quick beep and we'll be right back. But if you're joining us on Facebook Live, we're gonna take a little break to read some comments. So we'll be right on back. Guys, hanging out with us here on Facebook Live. You know, we didn't go anywhere. We're still sitting here. I moved us off from the camera, so now we're over here. But I was checking the audio time, but we're here. Looks like we got a few comments in. Let's see what's up here. Oh, I see already. Joe is answering my questions that I don't know the answers to.
Joe says, "What up, guys?
What up, Joe?
The blip question is one of the few things that Marvel needs to cover,
and
it looks like they're starting to little by little.
Yeah,
with Far From Home and now this one. So.
Yeah, but I think he means like what I said. Like, what if I was in an airplane when I blipped? You know what I mean? Like, what, the plane ain't still in the fucking air? I just blipped back into the ocean or what? You know?
Randall Park is great.
Totally.
Park is good and fresh off the boat.
Okay.
I didn't know that show was still going. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Let me see. Joe says when Vision helps the first guy snap out of it, it's crazy. Yeah.
His coworker, and he's like tripping balls. He's like, "Where's my phone? Help me!" Like my sister. He says their dad is sick, and you're like, "What the fuck is going on?" And you're almost like Vision doesn't know what to do. He just turns him back. You know.
Yeah.
So,
give Jimmy his own show. Oh, Facts of Life.
That's what it was. Thank you, Joe. Facts of Life. Okay, great.
Fuck when Wanda returns the drone, Joe says.
Yeah, badass.
That was the best scene in the show. They threw me off with Agnes when she acted like she was under control of Vision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
totally, man. In that when he meets her at the edge of town or whatever, we didn't really talk about that part, but
we're getting there.
He meets her at the edge of town and does that. But great comments, Joe. Thank you for joining the live, man. One more. Let me see. You got one more in here. Then I was getting.
They really fucked us with nerds with Quicksilver.
Yeah.
He said Paul Bettany's been good since Knight's Tale. I love Knight's Tale. He's really good as Geoffrey Chaucer.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's supposed to be like there's like a year where it says Geoffrey Chaucer just like disappeared from the face of the earth, and then he came back and wrote Canterbury Tales.
Ah, the Canterbury Tales. Yeah.
And you know the first story in Canterbury Tales is A Knight's Tale.
I did not know that.
It's the first story. So.
You know what? I don't know if I've ever seen that movie. That's the Heath Ledger.
It's good. I like it. Okay. I think you'll enjoy it. It's fun. A lot of people give it crap because it plays like modern rock music in there. It's fun. It's a fun movie.
There's always something that
it's
does
not
that.
to take seriously. It's nothing to take seriously. It's fun. Robert Baratheon comes out.
Yeah, that's right. The young one. Yeah.
So
I saw an image. It says the moment you know that like Vision and Robert Baratheon and
a Joker
are in the same movie, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Okay, cool. I gotta find what it's streaming on.
I like the Kick-Ass comment.
Yes, Joe, I have not seen that.
No.
You know, I think I thought
another movie that CM has not.
I think I thought it was. I think I thought it was a chick flick.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's fun. It's a fun movie.
Who's the hot girl? There's a hot girl in there, right?
Where would you know her from? I don't know where you would know her from.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know where you would know her from.
Yeah. All right. Well, somebody will find out. I'll find out where it's streaming, and then I'll go.
And Joe,
check it out.
Nope, he has not seen it. So add that to the list of movies he has not seen.
There you go. I'm catching up on a lot of
Roadhouse.
Stuff, right? So with Roadhouse, I know. We're gonna get.
Still hasn't seen it.
I need commercial free, man. Come on. You know, it's not my fault. Let's talk to the people at Amazon Prime, HBO Max. You know, I blame these people. Netflix, what are they doing, guys? Come on. You can only buy so many streaming stuff here. Yeah, Double A. So, no, it was all good stuff, man.
Shannon something.
Let's see. We got
what? Joe. I don't know. I don't know where CM would have seen her either. I haven't seen her since.
but Heath Ledger's the primary, right?
Yes,
He's the main character.
Yes.
Okay. That's kind of neat about the Chaucer Tales, though. That's
so supposedly, that's what he did. That whole year he was gone.
I remember having to read that in British Lit, and I was like, man, this shit is kind of dry a little bit. I was like,
I always wanted to read Canterbury Tales.
Really? Yeah, it was maybe because it was kind of a hard read because it's written in that. You know, like when you're reading Shakespeare, it's like fuck, this is kind of hard. You know what I mean? But yeah, I remember having to read like The Wife of Bath and like all those. You know?
Joe says that's a pod I'm starting. Movies Chuck ain't seen. That's his new podcast that Joe started.
Do I get to guest on it, or you know what? I like the idea of me not being on the show. The show's just about me.
Shows that Chuck has not seen. Damn,
that's good. You know what? Joe, we should do the show. Then I'll watch the movie. Then I'll talk about it afterwards. It'll be marked off the list. That's not too bad. Joe, I don't know if you got to read along, but Joe got on a podcast with somebody.
Yes, I did
on a Christmas
awesome
podcast.
Joe.
And I did the Final Four thing for the other podcast.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Dude, I was amazed at how many of those Christmas movies I had not seen or didn't realize were Christmas movies. So pretty cool, though. But I'm eager to follow up with that bracket there. Joe, because me and Double A we don't do bracketology at all or whatever. But on one like that, I will do it because it was fun. But yeah, we're looking forward to your episode coming out, man. I think it's coming out soon, right? Let us know, so we want to hear you on that.
Sure, on the Friday Night Faithful.
Definitely sure on the Friday Night Faithful, man. We're all good, all good with that, totally. Just like we did with our buddies now from the Invincible Comics guys. They're sharing their stuff too. They're great guys. I got to meet Alfred, who runs that a little bit, and he's got some good projects coming up. I think for all of San Antonio, it's going to be beneficial because we have a major hole, but it won't ever be filled, but with Mario leaving, there's going to just be one less place to, in a sense, to go. Although, Rad Comics is going to be there. Again, big shoes to fill. You know what I mean? When
Mario's like Ike and Jay's, now Mario.
Right.
It's kind of
right. So these guys I got to meet like last week. They were talking about some of the things that they're doing, going to be doing. So I'm excited to see that stuff. And I told them all, hey, share your stuff here, so we'll share it here. And I know that Joe, I really appreciate it. You giving us I think you told me you give us a shout out on that.
Did.
So
sure did.
I can't wait to hear that. And also too, like I said, Alfred from Invincible Comics gave us a shout out earlier on his thing. He's doing a live auction right now for some a Red, White, and Blood Carnage #1 variant cover. So if you want to leave our broadcast, you can go bid on the auction and then come back, I guess. But I didn't get to make the auction because I'm here. So.
Joe says next week he thinks the episode will be on, and he goes, the Invincible show on Amazon should be pretty good.
That's right.
I've been hearing nothing but good things, so maybe I'll check it out.
What a cast, man! J.K. Simmons.
Yes.
Glenn from The Walking Dead is the primary character.
Stephen Young.
Yeah. Academy Award nominated Stephen Young. Yeah, he's the main voice.
Award?
He just got nominated. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. That's what I was saying. I was like, well, fucking Glenn got nominated for Academy Award. Pretty badass.
Damn. Okay.
That performance he gave when Negan smashed his fucking brains out.
Yeah, that was good.
I would have given it to him for that. You know what I mean?
I love you.
That episode got,
that's the one that turned off everyone.
People quit that show after that, man. But not me.
Glenn.
I was like,
fuck you, Glenn.
Yeah. But good stuff. Joe, did the whole thing drop, or was it just a couple? I think they said it's going to be a 3. They're going to do it the boys. They're going to drop 3, and then they're going to do weekly.
Okay, cool.
So
cool,
I'll check it out for sure, depending on how long the episode.
Joe says I shout out the page and the faithful boys. Both guys are now in the group.
Hey, right
sharing.
on.
Hopefully, we get a bump next week.
Absolutely,
cool,
man.
cool.
I'm looking forward to hearing it. That's like a year-round Christmas podcast. Is that right, Joe? That's pretty cool.
Okay.
I mean, like,
shit.
For me, it's sometimes hard to be in the mood when it's not Christmas time. It's so it's already freaking hot to me.
Hey,
guys.
good on you guys.
Yeah. But that's really rad. Well, like I said, some of those movies in that bracket, I never even I was like, well, that's a Christmas movie. B, I never heard of this movie. So I was like, I got some shit to watch next Christmas season for sure.
Okay.
But guys, I think we got all the comments. So let's get right back in and try to wrap up the WandaVision.
Yeah. We're not trying to keep you up for 4 hours.
Yeah, me and Double A know we really got you guys for the last couple. So we'll bring it on home here for you guys with the things on WandaVision. Guys, if you're hanging out with us here on Facebook Live, we didn't go anywhere, but if you're just listening to us on the audio version, you always have the opportunity to come in and join us live on Facebook every Friday night if you're available and if you're free and you want to comment, talk about these things pop culture wise. Well, we're here and we're doing our WandaVision probably later than everybody else, and that's doing pop culture podcast. But we wanted to give everyone a chance to watch and maybe binge and watch again. And if you didn't watch, binge it all at once. So we know people did it a different way, but guys, what a kick-ass. As they said in the Halloween episode, kick-ass.
So we're kind of doing
episode.
kick-ass. So we're doing the Halloween. We're already at the Halloween episode, and Vision's kind of like they show Vision kind of like leaving.
Yeah.
He says he's doing security, but then she talks to Herb.
Right. She talks to Herb.
And he's like, no, Vision's not working with us tonight.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the fuck? Like, she has that face like every wife, girlfriend would have when your man is lying.
Where the fuck are you?
Yeah. You're like, where the fuck are you?
Hey, how about that, Double A? I didn't think about this. And I didn't write it in my notes, but it's kind of neat, right? Like in like episode 1 or 2, Vision says he's going to go to. I'm going to go be with, and it's funny too because they call him Vision throughout the whole show.
Yeah. Like nobody.
That's
like what kind of a name is that?
He's
right?
busy changing his face to look human, but he doesn't. His name is still Vision. So it's weird how those things are like that.
Yeah.
Even in the birth episode when she gives birth, and he says, "Don't you want your son to meet you as you?" He changes his face back.
Yeah.
But he also runs the doctor over there like the Flash practically, and it's like you didn't question that. Like what the fuck? You know, there's like, but that's kind of what makes the show so fun. Is that there's things that don't make sense, and you're like, this doesn't make sense, but it's still very very
which you start seeing
coherent.
why. Yeah.
But like you said, in one of the earlier episodes, Vision goes to check on like the neighborhood watch type guys, and they're just guys just gossiping pretty much. But they keep that thread throughout the things. Like the guys, this group of guys are like his neighbors and friends, are still like they all work in that office, and they're still like, in the neighborhood watch thing. Yeah. So by episode, whatever we're on now, 5 or 6, she's checking with Herb, and she's like, he's like you said, he's not working or whatever. I noticed too, Herb had on like a fucking like a FBI style earpiece, and I'm like, you get that for the neighborhood watch, and his Frankenstein makeup look really damn good. I was like, hey, that's a good aspect of Frankenstein. And Pietro's there with them. He's running around grabbing all the candy.
Would you say more kids?
Right, because
there hadn't been kids before.
And he brought that up in their fight. He goes, every day I walk to work, I look at the park, and it's always empty. And you're like, damn, he's making some really good points. And she's like, there's kids. She's just like, there's kids. Like, she's just not telling him. And he's like, and he's frustrated. He's had it. So he's walking to the edge of town, Double A, and what does he see?
Weird. It's just people kind of like standing, kind of being frozen, like
or moving in really slow motion,
or just doing some like weird shit. Like some people, like one person's like hanging up clothes, but they're not hanging up clothes.
Yeah, and just kind of just moving. Like Did you notice too the one tier? Yeah, got that one, and you're like, what in the fuck?
Yes,
like it's kind of spooky, that part. Like it's like, this is kind of creepy.
And see, my wife kind of told me too. I didn't think about it, but she was like, you know what? It's probably because she can't control them, or she's not really paying attention to these people. That it's kind of like on autopilot.
Right.
They're just moving.
Right.
And golly, those poor people that probably haven't slept, nothing,
And it's like far away from where she's at. At the same time,
it's like a radius, just like maybe a 2-mile radius where she's really in complete control of these people.
It's at the same time we're seeing like on the kind of the sword like camp, we're seeing like Darcy and Jimmy and Monica kind of figuring things out. And they're saying she's hacking into Haywood or Hayward. Somebody correct me on that. Haywood or Hayward, whatever that asshole. The asshole director of sword, they're hacking into his computer, and they're like, they're like, Darcy, is that Wanda? And they're like, no, he's tracking the Vision signature. So and then they start putting it like, they're like, he wants his weapon back, the sentient weapon or whatever. So when they realize that he's tracking Vision, that they notice that too. They say, what are these other dots? And they're like, those are the other people. And they're like, man, they're not even really moving. And you can see over by her, it's like a little like the busy bodies are all moving around. So that's a great theory by your wife, like Double A, where it's like, as the further out she's trying to stretch her power, it's not as good at the edges because she's like, it's more to do. Hayward. Yeah. Okay.
Hayward.
So there you go. But very, very interesting at the end of that episode.
And that's when Vision is kind of like, what the hell is going on? And he sees Agnes. She's kind of like on the edge of town herself, remember?
Mm-hmm. That's
like,
right.
Kind of just like Bart. And,
very weird.
And she's like, what? Kind of still playing her part, right?
Yeah. She's pretty much saying like she got lost, and Vision's like, and he changes out of the costume to his like Avengers costume. It might be the first time we see him in the full Avengers costume in this show, which looks really badass, by the way. Like you're like, hey, it looks really badass. And he's like, you're lost, and she's like, yeah, I don't really know where I go. And earlier in the episode, the kids, we see WandaVision's other son, Tommy, developed the speed power.
Yeah.
He starts running around.
Yeah.
And, Pietro's like, oh, chip off the old Maximoff block. Like, you got speed powers. And so at this point, we think that Billy doesn't have powers, just Tommy.
Yeah,
and he's like, hey, can we go get candy? And she goes, okay, but not past this street.
Yeah.
And so we already know, we're like, oh, that's
Where
like must be the
Vision's
border.
at, yeah.
And that's where he also finds where Vision finds Agnes, and she's stuck at that street. And he tells her, well, what's beyond? And she's like, no one gets out.
Yeah.
No one gets out. He does a little mind thing with her. He touches their head, and they kind of break out of it. And
but then he goes out.
Yeah, he decides to go out.
And then that's when he realizes once he steps out, he starts kind of like
falling apart. Someone
Yeah.
pointed out something. I think I saw it on one of the YouTubers like that. But when he's pulling apart, the little chunks are coming out. They're coming off in hexagon shapes.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah. It's when you rewatch it, it's prominent throughout the hex shape.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't notice it until they announced. They said when I went back and watched, I saw like in the WandaVision.
Yeah, even the beginning. It's a hexagon.
And when they zoom out, it's like, I was like, oh,
Yes.
cool, like that's pretty cool. I didn't pick that up the first time around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, pretty cool. But yeah, so Vision tries to escape the hex unsuccessfully, very unsuccessfully.
But then they know he's trying to leave too,
because then we see Billy's power develop where he's like, Mom, Dad's in trouble. And how about when Wanda and Quicksilver are talking, or Wanda and Pietro,
man.
And she doesn't trust him because he tells her, he's like, you're testing me. And then she's like, well, you look different. He's like, I don't really know why. And I thought his explanation was good. I was like, okay. He's like, I just was somewhere and I heard you calling to me. And so I came, and he's like, maybe you pulled me in.
Yeah.
So I'm still thinking in my mind, multiverse. I'm like, oh, multiverse.
Yeah, same here. Same here. Yeah.
But, then he's recalling some memories, and she's like, I don't remember it that way. So you're kind of like, what's going on here? But then they're talking, and he's pretty much trying to get it out of her. He's like, so how did you do all this? And she's like, you know what? I don't really know how I did it, which we're also all kind of like on the edge of our seat, because we're like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And then at one point she glances at him and glances again, and it's dead Pietro, the white skin, the bullets holds her, and she freaks out again.
Yeah.
But once Vision gets in trouble, it's Billy that tells her, we kind of see like, oh, he's got kind of like something similar to her powers. Because he can kind of sense it.
Does.
What I mean? And Pietro makes that comment where he's like, oh, don't worry, your dead husband can't die again.
Yeah, I was like,
and she gets pissed and she like blasts him or whatever. And then she's telling, her son, like, well, where is he at? Tell me where he's at or whatever. And what does she do, Double A, to kind of help out the situation? Because at that point Darcy's seeing him and she's like, help him, somebody help him.
She expands the border around Westview. She expands it so that way Vision can come back and
be within the border.
Sucks in some of the military and Darcy already knows there's something going on. Monica's like DNA has been changing like the 2 times she's been sucked in, that her DNA is not the same. And so like Darcy's like really afraid, like, holy shit, I don't want to get sucked in. And they turn into different like circus.
It ends up becoming like a circus. And
you're like, what the fuck?
I think also too there's a point in that episode where Monica and Hayward have some type of exchange. And again, she kind of plays it very cool, like she did with the guard. And I was like, man, she should have been like, she should have punched his ass or whatever. Like, I wonder if they wrote her kind of more calm to not make it like, everyone's got to be PC or whatever. They don't want to make it like, but I felt like she was a tough chick, and it was in her character to maybe
it's because she just trusted this guy so much. You can tell they have like a deep bond. And she wants to believe in this guy, that he doesn't want to do anything bad, But then you're just like, she's like, well, it seems like he's an asshole,
I just felt like there was like more sass in her, but she didn't really give it to him. And I was like, man, she should have really she should have punched his ass.
It's just an old friend,
Yeah, that's true. I wrote again here, Hayward is a real cocksucker, because I was like, I fucking hate this guy. That's I put about, we talked about Vision wandering to the edge of town, and then she expands the hex, and it made me wonder at that point. I was like, what really is her limit?
Yeah,
because she just pushed it out like maybe an extra 30 miles or something like that. Because some of them are escaping, like Hayward and Jimmy and Monica are like getting away. They're managing to get away, but Darcy, they had handcuffed her to the fucking to the thing, so she doesn't get away.
So she can't get away.
So that pretty much ends the episode, and then we go right into the next one, which this one is I didn't know this. I was watching it with so the one before the Halloween episode, it's the beginning is like the 90s ish, like Malcolm in the Middle. I didn't know that one, but I actually watched that episode. And Jessica was watching it over my shoulder, and she's like, "Oh, like Malcolm in the Middle," and I was like, "I never watched that show, so I didn't recognize it." But this next one, I got it right away because they were kind of like an office type theme from The Office. But the lettering, they did it kind of like Modern Family.
Modern Family. Yes,
I've seen some of those, whatever, but I've watched all of The Office. So I kind of grabbed how they're doing the different Wanda. You know, it was very cool. And then they're still talking to the camera in this next one, so that's pretty cool. Really neat moment in this episode is like just hitting on the highlights is like we see, you know, Monica does go back through the hex. And we kind of see the birth of a hero as she pops
her
out.
Body's changing and everything. And
I'm fast forwarding it. There's a lot of other stuff that happens or whatever, you know what I mean? But you see her kind of go to the change and kind of like, you know, get it all together, and then boom, she's there. And I was thinking Photon, but I mean, I don't know.
I thought so too, but I guess they weren't going to go that far yet.
Not yet. So it's very cool. That's very cool. That's also too, we kind of see, I think the commercial in this one is for the antidepressant pill, the Nexus, because she's just like, Wanda's out of it in this episode, and she's like eating cereal in her bathroom. The kids, she doesn't want to be bothered with the kids.
Mom time. It's just like, go do whatever you want. Just stay out of my room.
And good neighbor Agnes comes over and says, you know, hey, I'll take the kids so you can relax. She's relaxing, she's watching TV, but what's going on, Double A? Everything is kind of like glitching.
It's glitching bad.
All the timelines, and even she's looking around like, what the fuck? Like,
what's going on?
Again, I feel like it's almost like the puppet master all of a sudden is like, why isn't the puppet doing what I want? You know what I mean? So, but again, I think that because of her depression and her sadness and her all that stuff, she's like, and again, she just stretched her power further in the episode before. So now here it's kind of like destabilizing a little bit. So it's kind of an interesting way that they show that. But you know, to just rush to the end of the episode, I mean, the big reveal is right here.
That was crazy.
And we find, you know, by far what became apparently an iTunes #1 song, and
that was crazy.
Everybody was. I was using it. It's a great meme, but you know the very Munsters-ish theme with the, you know, it was Agatha all along.
Like, what the fuck?
And so I mean, guys, at this point we have what a lot of comic fans, I didn't know this, but or the character,
didn't know either.
But I know everybody was like, people said they figured it out right when Feige announced it. They were like, you know, Catherine Hahn's going to be playing
because
Agnes.
Everyone always looks at, you know, the casting and they want to deep dive into who these characters are.
And also, like Mario told us, when they reveal something like that, and then they say like fans figured out like, oh, her name is Agnes. Well, one of the main characters with Wanda is Agatha Harkness. And Agnes is like a shorten of it. So then what do? People go out and buy all those old issues of that stuff, and then they raise the price up. So,
but then he said it's not even that one; it was the ultimate version of Agatha, that
which I looked up and I saw it. I was
like,
oh, it's looking pretty hot.
So,
but very, very neat. Played very well by Catherine Hahn. She reveals that, and she's got her down there in this kind of basement dungeon. She tells her about the ruins. And what you learn from her is that she wants to know about Wanda and how she's doing this amazing level of magic, because she's like, man, I've studied for years to do, and she's telling her, she's like, transfiguration, this, she's showing her, you know what I mean, you know, Senior Scratchy is there, you know what I mean, the rabbit, you know, she's like, these things aren't easy or whatever, you know what I mean, like, you're doing it with you're doing multiple things. She says, I came because I sensed multiple spells cast at once. There was like a resonance of magic. So I'm guessing this is when she first puts up the hex, that's whatever, you know,
Agnes.
The same way a Jedi can sense another Jedi, you know what I mean? So
it's just such immense power that she's feeling, that she was like, wow.
And
I gotta check out who this is.
And she's got, that's why we're half in purple, half in red, guys. We know Wanda represented by the red looking magic, and Agatha by the purple magic. And the Agatha All Along song was so cool. That week was so funny because that episode came out right around when we were going through the snowstorm here.
Yeah,
and all the comic book people were posting up, like all the comic stores, they were like, books are late again, blah blah. And I just kept posting that gif there of, it was Agatha that made the books late. You know what I mean? All that, like, it was just fitting in so well, and everybody was on it. Like I said, it was on iTunes. Like apparently it was like #1.
Yeah,
so.
it was crazy when that happened. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it really caught on. It was the catchiest tune out of all of them, I would say. But and then she even says, and I killed Sparky too.
Yeah, I was like,
fuck. So definitely, like, it's almost like the big bad is revealed of the show, and she's manipulating things behind the scenes. They kind of cut to that, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even in the episode, the Modern Family one, I think, where she's like talking to the camera.
She's the one that
says, well, maybe you deserve it.
Yeah, maybe you deserve it.
At first, you see Wanda, like, when you first see that part, she's like, who's talking?
Yeah,
you're not supposed to talk.
You're not supposed to talk.
And again, her, in a sense, being out of control, it's like, oh man, like, you shouldn't be, out of control there. I feel like I'm losing you, Double A.
Oh, sorry.
In the camera. But so that's what she questioned. And then we see that it was Agatha, and we also see that it was Agatha that sent the other Pietro, as she calls him, Pietro. She calls him fake Pietro.
Yeah.
She sends him as well. You can kind of see her manipulating the magic. So that's very cool. Right then it's like, okay, now we know. You know what I mean? Like, yes, the fans were right. Agatha Harkness, and here she comes.
Which I had no clue who she was.
Nor did I.
Didn't look her up. Nothing. Just wanted to be surprised, and Lottie did. So
yeah, it was almost nice because it was like, it was more like we were watching it as fans of the Marvel movies and the story progressing, because we guys all know that even Marvel Studios takes quite a bit of liberties with some of the stories they adapt. So to me, this was like a fun, good adaptation. I didn't need to test my Marvel knowledge and how deep it goes. I was just enjoying the ride.
I was enjoying it too. Yeah.
So next, Double A, I mean, like, I guess kind of the neat start to this one or whatever is a different start. What I remember is it does the Marvel Studios logo, and then it's red, but then it turns purple.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then it goes right into at this point, there's no funny opening like a WandaVision one, because it shows you Salem in the Salem witch trial years.
Yes, that's right.
What'd you think about that scene?
I was like, oh wow, we're gonna go here now, but it's witches crucifying witches.
A witch, right? Yeah.
Apparently, Agnes had done something that was so bad that even the Covenant was like, no, this is what you're doing is far beyond what we're practicing, everything.
Yeah.
At first you think she's gonna get killed, and then all of a sudden she starts sucking out the powers out of all those witches. Right. And you're like, whoa. And
even her mom, she says she calls the main one mom. So and they're telling her, you stole magic above your grade, above this. And she's like, no, she's like, I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
You almost feel sympathetic for her.
You do, but then you're like, but then you start seeing the character, you're like, okay, well, that's probably you probably were doing stuff that you weren't supposed to.
Exactly.
And then you see the button.
That's right. The little brooch.
Yes.
That was the mom.
There was
she takes it.
Yeah, she takes it.
At some point, I think I read it online, but then when I was rewatching it, she does have it on the entire time.
Yeah, she does. Yes. And I saw it too. And I was like, holy shit. It's
cool.
on there.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
One thing I wrote in my notes here that I said is that, what Disney Plus needs to get on top of is, like, they don't have that like skip intro button.
Yeah, they don't.
And they don't. Yeah. They also don't have they have the skip to next episode, but it takes a long time to come up. Like, you're kind of like way into the credits.
Yeah.
Like, damn, like, bring that up sooner or whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess it's kind of hard with the Marvels because sometimes there's the end scenes or whatever. So I just wrote down, Disney needs to get onto the skip thing, and then they should make a feature where you can watch it like without the ends, like watch it all clip together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like watch. I guess you could play all or something like that, and you could play through them all without the breaks.
Yeah.
They know you're watching the whole fucking thing. Because again, it's not that long. Like, the Mandalorian isn't really that long. You know what I mean? The whole thing. But yeah, so what goes on next in this episode? Double A, kind of a very Scrooge vibe to it, right?
Yeah, big time. I mean, you're kind of learning kind of like the history of Wanda, why she's kind of like the way she is right now. It's you start seeing why she loves these old shows, why she kind of like why it's a big thing in almost the first 2-3 episodes. She was in Europe, she was like in the Soviet Union, kind of where like American TV was like not very visible. So kind of it's like the 80s and they're barely watching like Dick Van Dyke shows, you know,
Right.
shit like that. And you're just like, oh, okay. So for her in that kind of like poor kind of living, you know, watching that American TV was kind of like, wow, this is the husband and wife are lovey-dovey. They have, you know, great kids and everything's so funny, everything's so perfect, you know, and it's kind of like, wow. And then you see what happens with the bombing and you're kind of like, you know, that's why she probably chooses shows to kind of run her life for her. You know, she wants that perfect life for her in a way, you know. She wants everything to be goofy and funny and you know, and
I think she also associates it with a good time. Like, it was always fun when I was just vegging out watching TV with my family.
It was something cool that her dad bought from his trips wherever he was. That I got a whole season of like Dick Van Dyke, you know, and I mean, it's just like, golly.
I'm kind of laughing because I'm remembering, like, you know, Agatha's there with her and she's kind of saying stuff. Like at first when Pietro's calling for her, she's like, geez, he's so loud. We're right here. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, what the fuck? Like, she's making these funny jokes. But then it's like she's pretty much walking her through the phases of her life. The next thing
kind of because she wants to see what's like setting off Wanda almost, you know?
Oh, and she tells her something really cool, right? When she tells her, well, with the bomb is there, she's like, how long were you trapped? And she's like, well, 2 days. And she's like, and the bomb just didn't go off. She's like, you got bombed and you were perfectly safe. And then she's like, well, yeah, like, you know, like pretty much like, well, we got lucky. And then she's like, no. She's like, you were casting magic. She's like, you protected yourself and your brother from the bomb. She's like, and then you protected from the bomb going off. She says you casted a probability hex or something like that. And I was like, and she's like, no, I didn't. I was just there. And I was like, oh shit, that's kind of cool. Like she was involuntarily casting magic. You know what I mean?
So, how crazy was it to see that it was Stark?
The Stark bomb. Well, she says that in the you know, do you remember that from Age of Ultron?
No, I don't.
She tells that story. She says that's what they were like. Remember, they're in the beginning, they're bad guys in Age of Ultron. She goes, we were trapped in the bomb. She goes, we stared at your name for whatever those 2 days, wondering if we were gonna die. So that's like part of the lore. I thought that was cool.
I've only really seen Age of Ultron like once or twice.
Really? So, didn't care for it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, interesting. That's kind of funny because that's the introduction of the characters. But no, that is in there, that part specifically. That's kind of neat. So. That's what I kind of noticed too. Like in the first episode, when the Stark toaster's there, the little lights are blinking at the bottom. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. They tied that stuff together. Little things like that. I did some of those little things I picked up because later on when I read like people's like all the Easter eggs, blah blah. There was a lot of stuff I didn't get, but then there was something I was like, okay, I did make that connection. But next,
then, you know, like them volunteering for like the Strucker Hydro program, you know, you're like, here we go
again. Again, you kind of have Agatha being a bitch, right? Where she's like telling her, she's like, so you get bombed out by these radicals, and you decide to join these like freedom fighters that are like, and then she's like, Wanda doesn't really have a good answer. She's like, we wanted to make a difference. You know what I mean? So, so she pretty much walks her through that.
It's a cool story. It's a cool episode, you know, kind of showing her, and she kind of has that vision, of herself being Scarlet Witch.
You see that vision there,
but then it's kind of like the same thing, right? The soldiers are looking at the screen, and then all of a sudden it just like she goes limp, right? Like she falls down and faints, and you're just like, what the hell happened?
They don't see it.
But
that's when Agatha tells her, she goes, oh, so you had an encounter with the Mind Stone, which is weird that it was the Mind Stone, the one that Vision had, and then you know. That's what they always thought gave them their powers, right? They thought they were kind of like experimenting and got their powers out. But
that's what they thought. But
we're finding out that Wanda all the time.
No, she's always had it.
Always had it. So then that happens, and then we get the really beautiful scene with her and Vision hanging out on the bed, again watching TV. They're watching Malcolm in the Middle.
Yes, and you know, at this point, you know, Wanda probably feels so isolated, so alone.
Right.
And Vision's kind of the only one that comes across and actually tries to comfort her in a way.
This is right after Pietro's death.
He's the only one. She's alone in this fucking big old Avengers mansion, you know.
And this is one of the things, Double A, let me ask you about this. It's like, you know, I don't know if maybe that was always done intentionally that way, but it was like, you know, she was an Avenger. She was on the Avengers. You know, she gets picked up by Hawkeye in that one. And, you know, by the end of Age of Ultron, she teams up with them. Whatever. I'm like, you didn't like, how is that? Like, y'all don't talk anymore. Like, you don't,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying that they probably hang out because it's like you got very different people, but it's almost like you get this idea that's like they come together, but then they never like, I imagine it being like a band or a sports team, but that doesn't hang out. Like we just go our separate ways afterwards.
Like, especially Hawkeye, he goes off. Tony goes off on his own.
Yeah.
I don't know what Steve does.
Right. And no one's hanging out with Iron Man because he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, and he has Pepper.
Right.
You know?
So I guess it does kind of make sense that she's just by herself, I guess.
This big old kind of place, kind of like hiding out, right? Almost by government protection. And
like you have
there.
Yeah, right. The two that are kind of in the sense the loners.
He's an AI, artificial intelligence, so he wants to learn.
Yeah,
Yeah. And Wanda's the only one probably there.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay,
And he's asking her stuff, and she's watching the show, and and then she tells him, I really just want to see my brother, again one more time, and he kind of doesn't know what to say at first, but then he gets that really beautiful line that comes out that everyone talked about afterwards, which is, what is grief if not love persevering?
Yes.
And you're like, oh shit, like that's pretty profound. You know what I mean? So, and you kind of see at that moment, she doesn't say it because she tells Agatha, well, this is the first place we lived together, even though it wasn't like their place. They were both living there. But she doesn't say it, but you get the impression like that's kind of when she fell in love with him. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's when she had that
bonded.
Yeah, totally. Then they say they show her the next thing is post Vision's death, and she goes to Sword.
Yeah.
And she wants to see him. Okay, so major question right here, W, that I wrote down that I wanted to ask you your thoughts and your opinion. Okay, so Vision's body is made of vibranium. He gets destroyed, in Wakanda by Thanos, pulls out the Mind Stone.
Yes.
Okay, but Stark created, or essentially he's
him and Banner.
Essentially he's like Stark Banner property or Avengers property.
Supposed to be. Yeah.
How the fuck does his body end up in Sword's possession?
Because I think
because Tony, not everybody blipped.
But I think Tony put him under shield protection, So so everything that Tony would build, it's under shield.
Yeah, because she's even telling Hayward. She's even telling him, right, like, well, I'm his next of kin, and he had specific wishes or whatever. And all he can tell her is like, number one, she sees him pulling him apart.
Yeah.
And then he tells her, I'm not gonna let you bury 3 billion of vibranium in the ground.
Yeah.
But
which is very, very, expensive.
Yeah, and again, too, it's like, she's an Avenger. I mean, like, I would still think that there's still like although she had the horrible tragedy of what happened at when she blew up the building with the people in it. That was awful. But I would still think that she's still kind of like a beloved Avenger. You know what I mean?
You would think so. Yeah.
But when she's walking in there, like they're kind of treating her like shit.
They're treating her like shit. Yeah.
And I mean, it's like I'm not saying I'm the type to be like I'm going to flex my power, but I mean, it's like the way her power works is like they don't even have to know.
Yeah.
She could have easily, well, she does burst through the glass and she goes to look at Vision and she tells him, I can't feel you. Yeah. But she could have easily just like pulled them together and then just, levitated him and blown out of there.
Unless it was just a total shock to her.
Maybe so. But I mean, that looked pretty awful how they had him all.
And
I was just thinking to myself, I was like, this is not y'all's fucking property. Like, even if you're saying I'm not going to bury it, I mean, you would think that if Pepper and Tony Tony wasn't around at this point, but Pepper was still around and Stark.
Again, I think everything they built is under shield after a while,
Yeah. And then too, I'm wondering too, I'm like, how the fuck did they get his body out of Wakanda? Like, they let you just take his body? Like,
well, remember, everyone's gone, and I guess Cap and them didn't pick him up.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, fuck.
Or maybe they did, and maybe they were like, "Hey, you want him? He's a big piece of vibranium. Do you want him?" Maybe they did take him, and maybe they said, "Hey, here."
I mean, because we
can't fix him.
Yeah,
Bruce is gone.
Yeah,
Tony's gone.
Yeah,
we can't fix him. Can you try and bring him back?
Yeah,
maybe that's what they did.
Yeah, because he falls.
Because remember, Tony's in space.
Right.
Hulk's gone.
Right. Because he falls in Infinity War, then the blip happens.
Yeah.
But like I said, I feel like there were still people around. Maybe that would have been like, okay,
like I said, maybe Cap was just like, here.
Yeah, that's true.
See if you can bring him back.
All right, Double A, we're approaching fast. The next break. We'll see if there's any comments in the queue, and then we'll come right back. And we're at the end here, so this is going to be the end of the episode. The next block to close us out on all things WandaVision, guys, and we'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
Guys, if you're hanging out with us on Facebook Live, you know that we're not going anywhere. We stay here with you. We hang out during the break. We are talking all things WandaVision. And during the 30-minute break, so we'd like to take a minute to go ahead and read through the comments. So let me see what I got in here. Joe says, let's see. Sorry. Joe says yes regarding the podcast that he did. Yes, this is the first two I listened to year round, but they're good shows. Okay, good stuff regarding the Christmas podcast is going to be on. And then he says that regarding WandaVision, it was a very Truman show, like. Yes, I agree with that totally, Joe. I love the Truman Show. Great, kind of, I would say, underrated movie. I don't really hear too much about people talk about the Truman Show maybe as one of Jim Carrey's better ones, but I really dig it. So we are talking all things WandaVision, guys. We just got to talking about episode 8, and we're about to be approach on the episode 9, which was the final episode in that in this Marvel Studios series. Short, to the point, great story, great acting, great cast. I mean, they're literally bringing the people from the movies right into the show, so it's like you're getting a show, but it's more like, I guess you could say, a mini series, because it's not a full 22 episodes or anything like that. So it's great. Joe was just saying, Double A, how it was a very Truman Show like show, like the show.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. But that's it for the comments. So I'm gonna check and make sure that we all loaded up here, and then we can get right here and round it on out, and then that'll be it. Oh, it's gonna take a little bit longer here. But no, Double A. So one of the things I was thinking about too was I was saying here, I wrote down in my notes regarding the body. Like, I was like, he was also sentient, so I guess it wasn't like he wasn't anybody's property anymore. So
and that's what SWORD is, sentient,
right?
Whatever,
But just for them to kind of take ownership, it's kind of weird to like be like, oh, we're gonna take ownership of the damn body. And then it's like,
well, like you said, Tony's not there, Bruce ain't there.
Yeah,
so,
very true. Very
and
true.
Cap's gonna be like, well, there's nothing I can fucking do about it.
Right. Totally. Guys, we got to the comments already, and we want to bring it on home here for the last bit.
Yeah.
Here, guys, on our fantastic WandaVision episode, where me and Double A got that bad Scarlet Fever, guys. What a great show. I loved it so much second time around. Many emotional moments for me. Y'all know that I'd be crying during stuff. So, but let's get right back into it and round it, finish it up. We're on episode 9. I already think.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Even though we always say we're never going to go episode by episode, we end up kind of doing that. But yeah. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. If you're listening to us on audio, you hear that little brief blip. It's when we take a break at the 30-minute mark so we can read through the comments through our Facebook Live, which we do every Friday. If you're available to join, come and hang out. Do the Facebook Live thing with us.
Add your a little bit later, but
a little bit
sticking with us.
A little bit late today, yeah, but thanks for hanging in there. It's going just as long as some of our recent 4-hour marathons we've been having. But guys, again, we're talking all things WandaVision. I'm wearing my Ceviche WandaVision shirt. Read my cousin Allie's comment for more on that. But guys, yeah, we're here at the end. I mean, like, we just had Vision and Wanda. Well, kind of Vision wasn't really in this episode that much, right? It was all kind of Wanda-centric about her path.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's just that one part in the Avengers where you see their bonding.
Yeah. We see her leave SWORD. She has something on her. She's in a car. She has a little map. The beautiful thing.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
for us to grow old in.
This part was fucking heartbreaking, and it made my wife kind of like, oh shit, you got them a house. Yeah, it was supposed to be built, and
bought them a house, man.
Yeah, we were gonna grow old together, and that's when she just about loses it.
Yeah, and which is so sad, right? Because you got to think about it, right? Like, we don't know if Wanda ages normally because of her powers or whatever, but Vision is a synthesoid, so he probably would have just lived on longer, but yet he wrote for us to grow old in V. Very cute. They even made a shirt of it. I think they have the shirt. You can buy the shirt with that. The little deed on there, the property deed.
And it's just really heartbreaking. It's just like, golly. And Wanda finally felt, she's probably thinking in her head, like, this could have been my chance to have that normal life away from the Avengers, to live with Vision. And
right.
Man, she she loses it, man.
And she's there in the. It's not even like a frame or nothing yet of a house. It's just
not
like
yet.
a plot.
It was about to.
Yeah.
Before the blip happened, all that shit, So.
And when she's driving through the town, you see some of the people that we've kind of come to know already.
And you're like, holy shit! There's all these people,
right? Her
and
yeah.
And it was just like a really quiet town, a really far off, quiet town.
So Dolly, let me ask you: was that Westview or was that Eastview?
That's Westview.
Okay, because when
she gets off, it's Westview.
But those cops say that there was. Yeah, you're right. They say there was no Westview though.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, because they're like. Remember, she says like they have selective amnesia. All of a sudden, there's a big sign that says Westview, but these fuckers are saying Eastview. There is no Eastview,
Oh, okay, I get it now. I was kind of confused about that part. I was like, what the fuck is happening right here? Like, I don't really get.
Yeah, so you're just like, wow. So you see Wanda's power explode.
Yeah.
You see her power changing everything, making a border around this town, changing the people, and then you see Vision. Mm-hmm. She's the one that created this Vision.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, holy shit, how strong is she?
Exactly.
Exactly.
She's doing, it's just everything forms from her mind, pretty much, including him. You know what I mean?
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
And then you just see the thing bursting out and then pretty much encapsulating the town.
And it kind of reminded me of the Green Lantern story when he tries to reform Cold City with the ring, and you're like, oh shit, here we go again. And she does it, and she makes it into her fantasy world.
Yeah. And it's like you see him, and then it's like the black and white, and she's in color, so she's looking at him, and then she steps into the scene, and she's black and white too, and he says Wanda.
Yes.
And it's very cool. And then you're kind of like right there at the beginning of the show, so it's like it comes full circle.
Yeah.
And Agatha's seeing all this, and at this point, it's like she realizes.
She thinks Wanda has this secret power that she's not, and it's just kind of by accident.
Right.
Everything that Wanda is doing is just kind of by accident, by emotion.
Right.
Nothing like really coordinated,
Yeah. And so once she goes through that kind of final door through her past, that's when Wanda, she hears the boys.
Yeah.
She hears her kids calling for her. So she runs out of almost like a studio, right? She runs because she's looking at the couch, everything, but in color, like she's seeing behind the scenes. She runs out, and then there's Agatha in the air floating, and she's got the boys pretty much by their throats. You know what I mean? With like these
magic lassos.
Yeah, magic lassos type things. And she tells her, she's like, okay, well, I'm not in the ruins no more. Like, you were holding my magic back. I could use my magic. And she goes, yeah, I'm glad. She's like, I know what you are now. She tells her, and she says, she goes, you're using chaos magic.
It kind of describes what her power is and who she is.
Right. Right. She calls
prophecy foretold.
Yeah.
Of a Scarlet Witch.
That's right. The Scarlet Witch. And she says, you're meant to destroy the world.
Yeah.
Is what she says. So that's another interesting, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And she says, the book you were looking at called The Darkhold. So right in that little moment, you get all this awesome stuff from Agatha. You get the chaos magic. That's what they've always called Wanda's power in the comics.
Chaos.
She calls her the Scarlet Witch. Even earlier in the show, Hayward makes reference to that with Jimmy, where he says she doesn't have an alias like the rest of them do. And he's like, nope, she's never been anything else. She's just been Wanda Maximoff. So that's kind of cool. We called her Scarlet Witch because we knew who she was. But they never called her that in the show or the movies. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
They name it right here. She calls her that. Wanda is still kind of like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm not anything. I'm just like,
I've never been trained. This is my powers, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a witch.
Yeah. She wants to just pretty much defend Westview and her family, because that's her little like slice of life that makes sense.
And all that information that Agnes is giving, the one thing that blew me away was that she said that she was stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yes, she says that.
I was like, whoa. And Christina was like, what? My wife, she goes, what? I go, wow, they're saying that she's more powerful than Doctor Strange when it comes to magic.
I mean, his very name, the essence is Sorcerer Supreme.
Sorcerer Supreme.
The supremest sorcerer.
I really didn't think there was anyone else on Earth that was as good as he was with magic.
Right.
And here we get this big old, theory, this revelation that she's stronger than Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And we've seen what Doctor Strange can do.
Totally.
In just the little bits that we've seen him. We've seen what he can do. And you're just like, whoa.
And it kind of makes sense, though, that they call it chaos magic because it's like she's doing it involuntarily.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't.
And she is. Yes.
Yeah. And she says that she goes, the prophecy foretells of a witch that will come that doesn't have to use spells or cast. It just kind of
comes out.
It comes out of her.
But she doesn't know how to control it, though. That's the thing, It's like I told my wife, it's like you're kind of only seeing what she's like the tip of what she can do. She didn't even know how deep she can go.
Yeah.
The hold she has on Westview is just by emotion.
Exactly.
Almost,
it's kind of neat because I know you said you only saw it really once, but there's that really great scene that it's sad, super sad. But when Pietro does die, and she kind of knows it in Age of Ultron, and she's at that point they're surrounded by all the Ultron bots. She's surrounded. She falls to her knees and she lets out this cry, and she like wipes them all out, like boom, like you see a little hint of her power right there.
And you kind of see it even in Infinity Endgame. Endgame.
Yeah. When she tells him, and she's fucking up Thanos pretty bad. But yeah, so Agatha says all that. She mentions the Darkhold, which if you do know the comic books is kind of a neat
something big too, which I'm not familiar with. Yeah. I'm not really familiar with all that kind of stuff. So
I knew of it. Wow. I knew of it because there was a card, like a rookie card in the Series 3 Marvel Universe cards, and one of the rookie teams they were called the Darkhold Redeemers. And then when I wanted to know more about them, they were starting to come out in the Midnight Suns books. They were all a part of that big Midnight Suns run where it was like both Ghost Riders. They were trying to take on that villainous Lilith. They were trying to, and the Darkhold Redeemers were because it was pretty much like all the supernatural people were helping out. And they showed up, the Darkhold Redeemers. They talked about that book, but that was another like famous Marvel book. But I think they're using it. How the Marvel kind of does, like we said with the Cosmic Cube, they kind of doing their own thing with it. Which is still cool because they're using it, but it's just using it in a different way. But that happens. Then it's like, I think we're going right into like the fights pretty much, right?
Yeah. So like,
well, I think we missed the huge end credit scene at the episode before
with Pietro.
No, where we see, there's that. Yeah. Pietro runs across Monica and he's like, Snooper's going to snoop.
Yeah.
But you don't see what happens because Monica pretty much finds Agatha's, this pathway to her underground lair. But there's the other end credit scene. I don't know where we're at in the episodes, but there's where we see the white vision.
Oh yeah,
the all white
when
vision.
They turn him on.
Yeah, they turn him on.
He's kind of like, he looks at himself. And he's on it.
And Hayward has the drone they use that she came in through with them, and it's kind of still surrounded
with her magic,
the chaos magic around it.
Yes.
And he goes, all we needed was a little bit from the source.
Kind of activates him.
So he doesn't have the minds, but it's neat. And then also too, again, if you're a comic book geek, this is kind of very West Coast Avengers because there was that white vision.
And see, again, I did not know that. I thought it was for the show, and then everyone started posting up all this white vision shit, card, and even then, the other week where I was looking for my cards, and then there was a white vision card.
Nice.
I was like, oh wow, okay. So I didn't know. Again, I don't know anything about Vision. I don't know white vision.
West Coast Avengers.
West Coast Avengers.
You know what I mean?
I thought this was something for a show. I did not know this was something that had been done already.
When I saw it, I remembered. I was like, "Oh yeah, he had that other costume where he looked like all white, like a."
Yeah,
I remembered that because again, when I would see those West Coast Avengers issues, I was like, "Why does he look different than like how he used to look?" I was like, "What is it?" And I thought it was two robots. It might have been in the comic books two robots, but I don't know. But either way, I was like, "Oh wow, he looked pretty badass." I was like, "Hey, it looks pretty neat."
And he looked cool too.
Yeah,
even in this, he looked slightly different than how he normally looks. He looked pretty damn cool. And then, of course, everyone kind of was with the theories again, saying that this was Mephisto.
Again,
somehow they're saying that somehow Mephisto is kind of connected. I forgot how to this white vision. I forgot what it was, or that he looked at his arm and like knew it was gone or something. And like, do you remember that one that they said that he looked at his hand and he was like he makes mention of it or something?
Yeah. I don't remember.
But again, people were kind of like already rolling the theories that Mephisto was going to keep coming out.
They just were big on that, like
because Mephisto is a big part of this story with the kids and everything. He's a big part of that, but it was kind of like. again, you're kind of hoping, for me at least, I don't know about you, but for me at least, I was kind of like, please leave out Mephisto, please leave out Doctor Strange. I just want to see this Wanda story. That's it.
I was reading all that stuff too, and I didn't really care one way or the other. One of the things that had come out,
I just didn't want to distract it from this story. I thought this story was really good. It was really surrounded by Wanda. Please don't have Doctor Strange come out. Please don't have Mephisto come out.
Yeah, I won't even say I felt that way. I just felt like I was like, okay, if they do something, it's going to be like it's going to be. Because the thing I kept hearing was like, oh, can we expect a Mandalorian type cameo?
Yeah, and I think what it was that Paul Bettany had kind of said that you're going to see that cameo or something.
Right. Yeah, he said he was going to finally act with someone he'd always wanted to act with, which was, the joke was like it was himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But, you get the great fight between, and we can't do it justice, but we get the great fight between Agatha and Wanda using the magic.
But it's almost like she's sucking out the energy from
Wanda. She tells her, she's like, I want you to use your power because I absorb power, which is what we saw when she was kind of getting the Salem witch trial thing or whatever.
But not only is it taking the power away from Wanda, but it's also like, it seems like it's killing Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
She's turning
like all burnt.
Yeah, it's almost like her.
She's drying out or something. It's very weird. Very cool effect.
Yeah.
But at the same time too, we also see she encounters the White Vision, and she's like, Vision, and he's like, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He goes to caress her face, and then you just hear it like crunching her
I was
head.
like, oh no! I even told my wife, I'm like, oh no, he's gonna start crunching her head.
Yeah,
I was like, oh shit!
And then he tells her, and they told me you were powerful, and you're like, oh, this is a bad vision.
Yeah, I was like, no.
But of course, to save the day, boom, right out of there,
her
good vision comes out.
Her
and
vision.
They start fucking battling it out, right?
For a little bit,
For a little bit. Then they start to talk and philosophize.
I really like this story.
Me too. I'll let you go, Double A.
No, you go ahead.
So I actually, I was really eager to rewatch this part.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do a little bit deeper dive.
Yes.
So apparently this is a very famous philosophical question, but
which I didn't know. I have never heard this before.
But about the ship of Theseus. And so basically what the question is that if there's or that Theseus, he went and fought the Minotaur, all that, they docked the ship.
It's like the planes got rotting, rotting wood. So they replaced it with this new wood.
Mm-hmm.
Would it still be the ship of Theseus?
Right.
While, what if you clean the wood, you got rid of all the rotting wood and you put it back on this other ship?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like you have two ship of Theseus.
Right.
So
which one is the real ship?
And see, so what kind of convinces White Vision is kind of like, you are Vision. I'm like a conditional vision. I think that's what he says. And so the White Vision is kind of like confused. It's like the AI inside of him is like, what is that? And then that's when he tells him about this theory. He's like, well, both ships are the ships of Theseus.
Because the Vision we know tells him, because White Vision tells him, he says, I don't have the Mind Stone. And he goes, no, you don't. He's like, but I can pretty much give you the memories.
The memories.
Yeah, and that's what he does. He touches him right in the center, and he pretty much, so he sees like the love he had for Wanda. He sees Thanos destroying him. He sees all that. And then he says, I am Vision. But then he takes off.
And I kind of like that. I kind of leave how it leaves it wide open, because you're kind of like, ooh, wow. AI self-discovery.
Yeah, my first thought was Double A was that once he touched him, they were going to merge, and I was like, we're going to get his consciousness is going to go into that.
And I thought he was going to become Vision, and then this one was just going to be like, okay, Wanda, you can, kind of get rid of me, Vision. Your vision is here now, for real.
Yeah, or pretty much like him. Just to me, in my mind, I was like integrate, but they did a much better job, because that was maybe being kind of predictable. Yeah, but they did a much better job, because it's almost
who knows where he went.
Yeah, he feels so much knowledge and he takes off. And I know that's a question being asked around the internet right now. Is like, where did White Vision?
Where did he go?
I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer. Maybe to start. You know what I mean?
Me neither. But he's aware now.
Yeah,
he has Vision's memories. He's aware.
We skipped over a pretty important part, though, is like when Darcy gets sucked into the hex. Mm-hmm. At one point, Vision encounters her, and he zaps her mind, and she comes back to life, and they have a very funny exchange. It's very good. But once they start talking, she pretty much, because he goes, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm Vision, and I know I'm here, but I don't have any memories before. like, can you help me? And she goes, yeah. He goes, I have questions. She says, I have answers. So she tells him everything. She tells him about pretty much the events of Infinity War, his creation.
Yeah, about how even like Wanda, when she came back, she probably looked for Vision, and Vision's not there.
Yeah,
that she saw him die 2 times.
Right. Yeah, he says Wanda killed me, and he goes, yes. She goes, yes, but you asked her to save the universe.
She saved the universe, and then she saw Thanos reverse time, see him kill you.
Yeah,
and then she disappears, and then when she comes back, Vision's gone. Where she would have thought Vision was still right there.
Yeah,
he's gone.
He even says to her, he mentions being Jarvis. He goes, I came from an AI called Jarvis.
Jarvis.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he gets all that knowledge, and by him getting that knowledge from Darcy, he's able to pass that to the White Vision.
Yeah.
Which you would have thought automatically he would have understood the feelings and everything that this Vision had.
You got to remember, though, he's created from Wanda.
Right.
So it's weird that he's able to even have those kind of powers.
Yeah.
She zapped someone out of their mind wipe, in a sense, Yeah,
because he exists even though he's created out of Wanda's mind, he exists and works very independently of her,
Yes, he does.
So the next thing we have, I guess that happens is pretty cool. So that White Vision leaves, regular Vision goes back out. Monica's there. The kids are there. They're kind of helping with the police. You've seen the kids kind of use their powers. It's pretty cool. Vision doesn't really get involved in the fight with Wanda and Agatha, whatever, which has
because obviously he's still worried about the other Vision.
Yeah. And she sucks all her power out pretty much.
And then she stops him too. Remember,
that's right.
He is going to try and help.
Yeah,
and she stops him.
Wanda stops him. She puts that red the chaos magic on him and drops him down.
Yeah.
And then he's there with the kids. I think she's kind of has a plan, which she does. She takes Agatha up into the air.
What you see, she's starting to throws all her energy at Agatha, where she's almost like
a husk.
Skeleton.
Husk. like a dried up body.
And then all of a sudden, she comes up and tells Agatha about the runes, and you see the runes.
Yes, and that's very cool. She had told her that earlier in an episode back about a witch can't cast if another witch casts runes in an area. So she's pretty much like, I'm a quick learner, bitch, and she's got her. And so then once she has her, she kind of sucks all of the energy back. Yes. And more, I think.
And
she
more,
pretty much
because Agatha can't do anything anymore.
Yeah. And Agatha pretty much tries to bargain with her and be like, hey, you're going to need me because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're doing.
And then she's like, well, yeah, if I do, I know where to find you. And she pretty much turns her into...
Yeah, she says, this is going to be your prison. You're going to be that nosy neighbor that you picked.
Right.
And she goes back to being Agnes. And
she kind of does like a mind wipe on her.
But you can kind of see her eyes are watery, where she kind of still knows, but it's kind of like, forget it.
Like it's like that kind of sleep. The way the other people were kind of asleep, know. And it's kind of interesting too, because that happens. Like she uses that against Wanda at one point. She wakes up the city of West.
Yes,
and
they look mad,
and they go at Wanda, and they're like, please let us go. Like, we have families. The one lady's asking for her daughter. She's like, can I please see my daughter?
Dottie.
Dottie.
And what she says, her name is Sarah.
That's right. And then how about what the one guy says, the Vision's workmate, when he says, he goes, when you make us go to sleep. So I guess they are getting sleep.
We can't sleep, but they said we can't sleep because we're seeing what kind of nightmares.
Yeah, we have your nightmares. Yeah, and at first she's like, no, you're making him say this. And Agatha's like, I just set him free. Yeah. And so you do realize that she was doing something wrong.
Wanda is doing all this. It's not Agnes at all. It's
that was Wanda. So she was just there kind of trying to find out where the power was coming from, only to discover, she was doing all this other stuff. So they resolve that. She sets him free. She opens up the hex, and we assume that they run out, and then they kind of continue their fight. She gets Agatha, tells her you're going to be the nosy neighbor.
Man, how great does Wanda look when she...
I was going to say that moment where she does transform and becomes the Scarlet Witch, the power, badass costume.
A lot of people were saying it was a tribute to Michael Fassbender.
I saw that.
The outfits.
I saw them side by side.
Wow, I hope that's true.
So when Fat Man Beyond had on the costume designer, man, he says AA that he's like, well, what they did was normally a movie has like they hire on a crew that does the costumes, and they're let go. You're pretty much a contractor when you work in Hollywood or the movies and stuff. He goes, but what Kevin Feige has done is like, we're the team that works on like all the Marvel stuff. So he's like, we've been designing her costumes for years, since all the years back. And I started following him from our Instagram on the Just Another Friday Night Instagram, and he'll post up now that he can, because they're under all the non-disclosure.
Yes.
He'll post up stuff, but like people that caught that in the costume, it had the little shape of the Vision stone there, which is also a hexagon.
That's right. Yes.
He was like, yeah. He goes, people caught it right away. He's like, yeah, but that's intentional that we put that in there. And he goes, yeah, we've been, we were designing her costume from when she first got to make it to whatever. He talked about how he designed the tiara, you know what I mean, and how they were going to do it, like like a crown and stuff. And GameStop is they're selling a replica. It's not out yet, but they're going to sell it. If I would have had it, I'd have been wearing it on this episode. I would have had my Wanda crown on, or tiara, whatever you want to call it. But man, she looked badass.
She looked great. I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved the look.
Fully fledged out, and we get the Scarlet Witch. She's there or whatever, and then you have to have that moment. And she talks with Vision, and I think we kind of realize, you know what I mean. The director Matt Shackman had some great stuff to say, which he was like, pretty much you're watching Wanda go through the stages of grief. Yeah, from denial to acceptance, to bargaining and all that, to eventually acceptance, which is I think where we get at the end. And Vision knows, like, hey, this is going to be it, and they got to say goodbye because she's got to close the hex,
close it, to make everything right again.
Right. Yeah, and she does, and she's slowly pulling it all in, and you're seeing things go back to normal, and it's pretty crazy. And there's that super touching moment, at the end, and she says goodbye to the kids. She says, "Thank you for choosing me as your mom." Yeah, and pretty much when she closes the door, that's it. They've had it.
Man, I know everything is bad what she did, but when you see her walking out of the town, you just like, man, you feel so bad for it, even though the townspeople, you can relate to the townspeople too, and obviously what she did was wrong. An Avenger gone bad, and the power she did on them,
holding them hostage.
But golly, you just feel so bad for her because she's just walking so alone. Monica relates to her. She's like, if I had your power and if I had a choice, I would bring my mother back in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
And then she leaves. Wanda leaves, and
that moment with her and Vision at the end is so touching because he asked her, "What am I?" And she says, "You're the piece of the Mind Stone that lives in me." Yeah. And I guess it's because
she created a machine and bone and blood that I created.
Right. And then he just tells her, without really saying like I love you, but very beautifully the way he puts it, you know what I mean? And he says, we've said goodbye before. And then he says, so it stands to reason. And she finishes the sentence. She goes, that we'll say hello again. Yeah. So I was like, broken up. You know what I mean? It was just such a
my wife loved it. She was crying, tears about it.
It's like a really beautiful love story. I was like, man, what a...
And again, you just feel so bad for her when she's walking out of the town. When she kind of walks out of that, back to the house again, it's bare bones. It's not even there. It's not even a slab. It's just the outline of what the house is going to be. And you're just like, golly, like you just feel so bad for Wanda because all the other Avengers pretty much got to live their lives. Even Cap,
right?
In his own reality, he got to live his, his date, with his wife, and Tony went back. Well, Tony died, but sacrificed himself. Hawkeye goes back, and
it just, I just think it sucks that like no one checked on her.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like all the Avengers,
she lost.
All the other Avengers kind of went back to their own things.
Even Pepper could have been like, "Hey, girl," you know what I mean? Like, they have that moment where it's all this girl power stuff, and then it's like, but no one was really there for her. You know what I mean? So like. It majorly sucks, you know what I mean? And I totally feel for her. And she does tell Monica too. She's like, they'll never forget what I did. And then she's like, well, they're angry and stuff.
Yeah. So then she flies away, and then we kind of get like all the recaps. Jimmy Woo's like he's a hero. Right. Darcy's gone. You don't know where Darcy's at. They call Monica. To the theater.
Yes.
And then that's when you get her little story that maybe a spinoff can happen with her with the Skrulls. Yeah. Secret Invasion, whatever it's supposed to be.
The agent turns into the Skrull, and then she tells her he wants to talk to you, and she points up. Yeah. And she seems like pretty excited about that.
Yeah. So that's another cool story.
Nick Fury, potentially.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So you got that, and then you got Wanda in this. Right. Where do you I didn't even think about this until people started saying that she might be in the mountains of Wondergore.
Yeah, I did that. I did think of that.
Didn't even fucking.
And the reason why is because I noticed that the music kind of changed, and then like you see it, like it's obviously in a hillish
European
region
somewhere,
right. And this cabin, it's beautiful. She's drinking coffee in the front. Now, let me ask you this: why do you think that was? Like, why did we see that projection of her, but then we see the real her?
Because it's almost like how Doctor Strange was. You remember that scene where he's reading
the astral,
but he's like asleep. Yeah, it's the astral form.
Okay.
That's how powerful she's becoming.
Yeah,
where it looks for real, but she's actually reading the book, studying.
Yeah, the Darkhold.
Yeah.
She's there and she's working her hands and she's doing all the magic.
Better and better and stronger. And then, you know, the part that struck me too is like, man, she hurt the kids. I thought the kids were gone.
Yes.
How the fuck are the kids still around?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's like maybe she's researching in that book. Like,
but man, I thought, you know, when the town started closing in herself, that was it. The kids were gone.
Yeah.
Oof.
But again,
the kids are like, mommy.
Yeah.
Like,
but again, it's like she created them, so maybe there's, you know, because
I don't know. I thought that was weird. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it just was like, again, her power is almost like, how do you quantify it? So,
and then, like I said, the nerd in me. After that, I started reading. You know, when they started saying Wondergore, I was like, high evolutionary.
The high evolutionary. Yep.
You know, because he's a huge part of
huge villain.
Wanda and Quicksilver. No, but he's a huge part of their history too. That's where he works.
Yeah,
he works at Wondergore. So I was
another
like,
experimenter, another
geneticist. I was like, could we? And I hate doing this to myself. Could we actually see high evolutionary coming out?
I think that would be pretty badass.
We didn't mention him on our favorite villains list, but he is a villain that we both love. We love high evolutionary. We love the history. We love everything that he does. It'd be so cool if they actually started maybe introducing him. That was Wondergore. Yeah. You know, I was like, wow.
I think so, man. That's pretty cool. Pretty I mean, cool. And again, there's nothing that really leads us to know that could be Wondergore, but she could just be in the mountains of Sokovia. But
that's just the nerd in me.
Yeah, totally.
That it could lead to high evolution.
Totally. Yeah. So one last thing I want to talk about, Double. We'll probably go into our next block. But so one of the cool things is that like right around this time, and I didn't know this. I legit didn't know this. I was watching the show as it was coming out episode by episode. But at the same time, I was catching up. You know, Joe's always on me about not seeing some movies, but I've been wanting on my own because HBO Max has such good stuff. And I told you I've been catching up on the Mad Maxes. Yeah. That I never really sat down and saw fully through whatever. But one of the ones I was watching, you know, your middle brother, Fred and Will has always told me, you know, to check out Blade Runner. And I never really sat and seen it. So I saw it. I saw Blade Runner, and I even watched the new one. Well, what I didn't know, and this wasn't until afterwards, after I was all done with WandaVision, I had already watched the Blade Runners, but it was like there was like an Easter egg apparently tied in to that, and I was like, what the hell? Like, what was the Blade Runner Easter egg? Like, because I had just watched it, so it was fresh in my mind. So when Monica goes into the theater, and even before that, when everything's kind of flashing back to normal, you're seeing the marquee on the theater change. Well, one of the things on the marquee, it says, is it the Tannhauser or Tannhauser Gate, which is right out of the speech of the replicant at the end of Blade Runner. Guys, we're about to hit the 30-minute mark. We're gonna come right back though and finish up the talk about WandaVision.
Damn it. God damn it.
Roy Batty, played by Rutger Hauer.
Yeah. Tears in the rain.
Like Tears in the Rain. Yes, and if you guys know that is based on a Philip K. book, Philip K. Dick book called Why Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Oh, yes.
You know, and the replicants are pretty much androids. Yes. They're human-looking robotics.
Which it connects with aliens, with Ash, with Bishop.
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff. Yeah.
And they said that, so I had to go, when I went back, I was watching for it and I saw it there. It says Tannhauser.
Damn, I didn't even catch that.
That's in his speech when he says, I saw the C-beams at Tannhauser Gate. And that's right before he says the Tears in the Rain thing, which I read that he improvised. Rutger Hauer improvised.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yes. Did you think anything when they said Oz, the great and powerful? Did you think anything?
You know what? That? No, I didn't even. You know what? In fact, I was so focused on the other, I didn't even realize.
Because obviously, like when they show Agnes, like crashed in by the car when she forced the car and just her like boots.
That's right. Yeah, that is true. And in a sense, would you say that Wanda was the great and powerful Oz?
Yeah.
You know, she was in a sense, very much so. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also, too, the thing about Oz was that when the curtain was pulled back, he was just a man.
He was just a man. But I mean, if you know the Wizard of Oz, you know, obviously,
right?
It's full of magic, the witches, everything.
Totally.
Yeah, so.
I did not even pick up that. That was what I didn't pick up on. So,
but you know, cool. I mean, honestly, though, I love this. This whole series, I love this whole 9 episode. Like I said, I fell in love with Wanda. I fell in love with Vision.
Yes, 100%.
Just from this fucking show, this 9 episode show, you know. And I'm glad, you know, I really wanted that Timeless cover. You somehow got it for me.
Yeah, so, man, totally.
Mario. As soon as I saw that at Mario's shop, I was like, let me have it.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask him what price it was. I was just like, let me have it. You know,
total win now. That one.
When I saw this,
I know
at Hot Topic, I was like, "We're getting that. I don't care what size you have. We're getting that because I just love that cover that Quesada did."
This cover still goes for a ton. It's not easy to get a hands on one.
You know, when you see that episode where she's at the house and she just breaks down, I just thought of that.
Yeah,
cover
pretty much
bad. And then, like I said, the Wonder Gore. I think High Evolutionary right away, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, High Evolutionary, dude, man,
the kind of a sleeper villain in a way.
Ooh, man, he's a the Evolutionary War.
Yeah,
it happens during the Avengers. You know,
of all the things that people have kind of been mentioning about, Kang, we know the next, but it was like, man, this guy was always kind of like lying in wait.
And he looks fucking creepy as hell.
Oh yeah,
first appearance.
Yeah, man, that's fucking awesome, man.
You know, the Counter Earth. What he creates, a whole nother planet, Adam Warlock, he gives him the mind gem.
See, I didn't even know all this lore right here. That's pretty good shit.
Man, oh man.
But I knew he was behind a lot of the experimentation.
And he comes out in the X-Men cartoon. If you look at Disney Plus.
I remember.
Do you remember that episode?
Yeah, I remember he kind of had that softer voice or whatever, and he was kind of like, almost like they make him almost at first like a sympathetic character.
Until you find out, you're like,
this dude's up to no good.
And that he was taught by Mr. Sinister. That was like his teacher.
Really?
Mr. Sinister.
Oh, well, okay. I thought he was a little bit older.
The geneticist.
Yeah. Yeah, them two, though.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I was like,
and I know that we're all kind of waiting on the introduction of mutants, so it's like that could be it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, just the thought of that could be Wonder Gore Mountain. I was like, wow.
No, totally, man. Totally. Guys, let's bring us back to, we're right in the midst of talking about the Roy Batty thing, so we'll bring us right back into the audio to get that going. Guys, if you just heard that quick blip, we're just talking about the Tannhauser Gate, Blade Runner, Roy Batty, played by Rutger Hauer. And he gives that speech at the end. He mentions
great movie. If you've never seen Blade Runner, see it. Rutger Hauer is great in that fucking movie.
Yeah. Very for me, I hadn't never seen it, and I sat through. I watched the cut that's on HBO Max, and I believe is the one that's the final the vision that Ridley Scott wanted.
Really? Yeah.
Like Double A was saying that what I read about it was that they want it to be tied to the alien verse or whatever. You know what I mean? But
it is. Yes, it is.
I feel like it is too because they talk very much about
it. They said it is. Yeah.
But very cool stuff there, and then of course nice reference because of course we're dealing with androids in or synthezoids in WandaVision, and then for have that reference to the Tannhauser Gate.
That's fucking cool. I didn't catch that at all. And I like Blade Runner.
So I had to read it because I was like,
cool.
But it just for me was weird because I had just watched it and I was like, oh wow, there's like a reference to that or whatever.
Oh, that's really cool.
Such a cool iconic movie. Get referenced, by WandaVision, the androids and everything like guys that she was doing at the end, the costume. I mean, even the White Vision looks so badass.
It did. It really looked cool.
I mean, guys, these shows are on another level.
They're big budgeted shows, and you know what? I was saying, my friend at work, I kind of would rather prefer this if they were to show like the other kind of side characters. I prefer they do these shows instead of a movie.
Yeah,
because instead of like a 2-hour movie, I'm getting like a 5-hour movie with this character. Right. And it made me fall in love with them so much more than probably. I didn't think too much of her in Age of Ultron and Civil War and Infinity War Endgame until I saw her personal side story, her and Vision.
Yeah.
And I was like blown away.
It's almost like what they did with Cap with the 3 movies, but this is a little bit easier. You know what I mean? Like with the way they're doing it now,
but with Cap, you can do that though.
Right.
You can see his story. With Wanda, you need this kind of stuff. to flesh out her character more, because you're just not going to get that with the big budgeted movies. You're not.
No, I totally agree. And the way that it was done so well, I'm like, shoot, I'll take anything like this. Give me a Hawkeye one.
Give me a Hawkeye. I like them enough that I bought the statue of Hawkeye. That's how much Jeremy Renner, portrayed him so well. And just seeing Elizabeth Olsen being a more meaty role. I got a shirt. I got this timeless comic. I got that damn Vision. Yeah, WandaVision. I never would have gotten in a million years before this, But it just did such a great job of making us love those characters, get to know them, feel her sympathy, feel her grief. You know what I mean? Not only that, but then you realize, golly, what a powerhouse she is.
Oh yeah,
God, totally.
Totally. And man, it sucked too, because it's almost kind of like what they touch on with the theme in Logan about what happens when the world's most powerful mind gets stricken with like Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Here it is. You have someone, one of the most powerful beings in the world, is stricken with depression, and that's pretty much what it is.
She's able to take a town under complete control.
Yeah. And that's what it was. She says it. She's like, it felt like waves crashing over me, and I couldn't get me and you have had conversations like that. And it was like, man, it's being described so vividly right here. And it was
but she created life.
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah. That she couldn't control. I wrote that in my notes. That's like what I asked you earlier about, why couldn't she control them? It was almost like they were created independently of her. Yeah. You know what I mean? And of course we know, I don't know if it's not in this issue, but it's in this series. Yeah, they let you know that it's like Mephisto has a hand in that.
Yeah, but in this one, it's all Wanda.
Right.
It's no Mephisto. It's all Wanda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes it, I like it even better.
Kind of better, for sure.
Yes, because it shows, like, I've always hated that they turned Jean, Dark Phoenix, into this other entity. Like, it was a Phoenix entity. It was supposed to be Jean, like, at her fullest power. That's the way Claremont wanted it. Yeah. Jean was supposed to be like Dark Phoenix was supposed to be all the potential Jean Grey had. Okay. And then they made it so it wouldn't be like she was such like a murderous, ravenous being that they said, okay, the Phoenix being is an entity on its own that possessed Jean Grey.
A separate thing.
Okay. But it was supposed to be Jean. Chris Claremont's vision was Jean.
Yeah.
At her evil, purest version.
Do you feel like that's what they did with the Parallax?
Yes.
That's kind of like that creation.
Yeah.
It kind of makes more sense that way, though, because it's...
But with Jean, it was kind of like, I don't know why, it just seemed better that it should have been Jean, not a cosmic entity.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
That got her. It should have been
she
Jean.
Was the mutant with the power.
Yeah, exactly. So... She should have been this, like, wow, this is Jean Grey at her fullest. And this is kind of like Wanda at her fullest. This show made Wanda, like, on the top level... most powerful being. She's like, I would say she's like underneath Franklin now after seeing this.
Totally, man. I agree with it.
I mean, she was gonna rip out Thanos completely, easily.
Yeah,
she was gonna kill him. That would have been all over, game over right there.
Yeah, for me, I geeked for that part because it was like some people, and again, it would have maybe been nice to see him and Hulk go at it again, but really to me, that was the matchup because I was like, he has the gauntlet, and she's probably the only one with power to counter that.
And not only that, but then she destroys one of the stones real easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like boom, she has that much power where she can destroy those Infinity Stones.
That's what I would tell people. I would say she's like a living Infinity Stone in a sense. She's wielding it herself.
She was gonna kill Thanos then and there.
That would have been
real easy. The one that everyone had trouble with, she was gonna kill him right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
To create life somehow. To create a vision of her own, to control a town, simultaneously to control them. I was like, wow, they've just made probably the strongest character in this whole Marvel Phase 1.
Yeah,
they made her like unbelievably strong.
And how about this? At the end, she's learning more.
She's learning more
the powers. So what we saw her do chaotically with the chaos magic, she's learning now how to do things.
Yeah, now she's gonna be able to control it. She's gonna be able to tap more into that power, more into that chaos magic, pulling more magic. It's like, golly, it's kind of like scary in a way because you just don't know how you're gonna be able to ride her now. She doesn't need to be on a team.
No, No,
you know, I mean,
you almost have to have her like give her like a new, in a sense, goal or mission or
something,
or you know what I mean. Like I said, it depends on, do you introduce the whole mutant thing? You know what I mean? Like how do you work that? You know what I mean? Like, is there more? What else does she discover? You know, you can almost have her as being like she pops in and out, you know what I mean, and brings information or helps or whatever the case may be. But I think there's room for season 2 because I think we all want to know about the White Vision. We all want to know exactly what we're talking about right now. What does she do with this newfound power and knowledge? What's next? You know, maybe that's her quest to
supposedly she's supposed to have a really meaty role in this Doctor Strange multiverse of madness.
And we now know that she's more powerful than him, despite him being the supreme sorcerer supreme. Or maybe that too, maybe she wants to find a way to these children that she'd created, Tommy and Billy had created during this time. You know, maybe there's a way to like realize them in reality. You know, maybe that's with, I think that's definitely within her power scope. You know what I mean? Like you said, creating life, but now giving it physical form and all that. I mean, like, really, why could she not? You know,
I don't know. It's going to be interesting where they take the Wanda character. Totally. I don't know how she's going to fit into this new phase with the Eternals, with Black Widow. With all this other stuff they're bringing in. I don't know how they're going to do it anymore with Wanda. I hope they keep bringing her in.
I hope so too.
I hope so too. Especially with, they're going to bring in the mutants. You know, so
there's more room for that kind of story we know where that story kind of goes. So, but man,
I mean, they really just established Wanda Maximoff as probably one of the top 5 strongest characters in Marvel.
Total.
You know, and to think what you can do in the DC universe is kind of like scary on its own, because again, she's magic that can really kill Superman.
Now, okay, let me ask you this question. A guy you talked about earlier, her versus Black Adam.
See, Black Adam's kind of different.
Okay.
His body is all magic.
Okay. Interesting. See, right? So he's like a being comprised of magic. So
everything about him is just magic. So right. But I think she would be able to really dominate all of them, you know? So
interesting.
It's weird. It's weird, you know?
Dude, I know this, so for sure. Marvel Studios did a fantastic job. They made 2 Wanda and Scarlet Witch and Vision fans out of us.
Me and then my wife and daughter who just like fell in love with Wanda.
And anyone that wasn't sold, and I'm talking to my sister, my girlfriend, I'm like, go and watch it. Don't listen to this episode and get all the spoilers here. Go and check it out first. You can watch it quick in an afternoon, probably. If you start at 8 a.m. in the morning, you might be done by 12. By 12, stuff like that. It's like, and it's so fun. Like I really enjoyed watching it again.
I did too.
I was like, man, really what? Did. God, this is so good. Like it's so freaking good. Like
you just feel so bad for Wanda. Mm-hmm. You want Vision to be back alive so she can take care of her, and it's just like,
I mean, Disney's slaying it, man. Where it's like the Mandalorian season 1, you can just watch it again anytime, all together. It's so great. Season 2, wow, right up there. And then this one, I mean, again, I'm like, man, another one out of the park. Like, damn, I mean, they're killing it. And I didn't even need and I really wouldn't have. I didn't really need, or like you said, really want like a quote unquote Luke Skywalker style cameo. Yeah. Well, number one, because then it's like that's all I'm looking for. I'm watching every week for that. You're right. Yeah. You lose some of the great story, which is really a really great story.
And it's a Wanda story. Mm-hmm. Remember that.
And
it's not Doctor Strange. It's not Mephisto. It's Wanda.
Yeah. And I'm going to be posting as we promote throughout the week for the show. I know Double A is going to probably post some great stuff, but I'm going to post a lot of what came out of it was a lot of funny ass memes came out of it. Besides the Agatha All Along stuff, there were so many other like funny memes they did. And I'll be putting some of those up on our Instagram and things like that for, if you guys have some funny ones, by all means, feel free to post them as well. But shoot, Double A, unless there's anything else, man. We tried to keep it short, but
just like I said, just watch it. If you weren't a fan of it, it'll make you a fan. I didn't know anything about the history of these two, and it made me a big fan of both of them. So I think you'll really enjoy it. For anyone that's ever lost to anyone, you can really relate to what Wanda's going through.
Absolutely.
It's just painful, and it's just kind of asks the question: if you had the power, would you do it?
Well, what would you do, Double A?
I would do it, just like Monica said. If I had the power, I would bring my mom back in a heartbeat, like how she said. I would do it in a heartbeat.
But what would Double A do if you had the power?
abuse it.
Interesting question, right? Interesting question, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make your own reality. Yeah, I don't know even what I would do, where I would start.
I mean,
you know,
this whole show brought my wife to tears. She's a non-Marvel person.
Yeah.
Never got into Marvel until she met me. And Wanda became her favorite character.
I don't think you can pick. You know, I don't think that it's not a bad place at all to start. If your favorite character becomes, you know, the Scarlet Witch, Wanda, and if you know, or even Vision, who also was so outstanding throughout the show as being, you know, again, having to be funny, having to be serious. You're doing hokey type stuff, but then it also gets very real. And guys, that scene where they're having that argument, I mean, man, like for a superhero argument, two people floating in the air, it was a very impassioned, you know, argument. And great supporting cast, you know what I mean? Like I said, you know, from you know, Jimmy Woo and Darcy and you know, again, the birth of we're going to see, you know, obviously
Billy
Monica, Billy and Tommy, and Monica Rambeau is going to go on. And again, even the villain is great, you know, with Agatha Harkness just being awesome. You didn't need
this was good. That was a really good villain.
Really great, really great, and perfect too. And then, like I said, the surprises that were there were good, like the White Vision, and like I said, the for me, you know, Pietro. Despite we didn't even talk about how that all played out, but go watch it and treat Ralph Boner and treat yourself to that. Well, Double A, if there's nothing else to add, then you know what we do at this time.
Man, you know what to say.
Hey guys,
and I just saw this movie not too long yesterday.
There it is, right there, guys. You know, there's two things we always like to say when we end the show. Let's remind you guys, you know what? You never know what day is going to be your last. So if there's something that you want to do
verse, just like Robin Williams said.
Yep, you got to do just like Robin Williams.
Verse.
Dead Poets Society, guys. Seize the day, guys. Carpe diem, the Latin version. But yeah, we always like to say here, seize the day, man. In a sense, that's what Wanda did, right? Double A. I mean, she was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she did. And like our man, the first Avenger says, Captain America, you know, during Endgame, you know, you got to do whatever. We got to do whatever it takes. You know what I mean? There was one chance for them to bring everybody back for the blip, and he told the Avengers there, you know, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
And they did it, and that's also, you know, what Wanda did. You know what I mean? In a sense, to beat Agatha and to, you know, get things under control, and even sacrificing, you know, her little, in a sense, slice of heaven. Imagine creating your perfect world with all your loved ones there and everything you ever wanted, but then having to give that up because you realize it's the right thing to do. And she did do that. You know what I mean? So, you know, people got hurt along the way, but in the end, you know, she did whatever it takes, and that was it, man. Great fucking show. Great. It was. I loved it. Yeah. Right now, guys, I mean, you know, right now, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is out there. We're not talking about it yet. We're going to do the same thing. Wait till that's done, and we'll definitely chat about that. We've got some other stuff coming up. You're going to love. Obviously, everyone wants us to do Snyder Cut. We're going to do that. Have another viewing for myself, and then we'll go all in on that, guys. But hey, sorry about the late one, but it's done, and it was a good one. I think I enjoyed the conversation thoroughly. Guys, the ship of Theseus. What do you think? Is if the parts all change, is it still the ship of Theseus? That's a very, very good philosophical question. But guys, for myself, CM Chuck, and my partner,
Double A.
Guys, it's been another Friday night with y'all. It's been real and it's been kick ass. So guys, we'll see you next Friday night right here. Good night.